Hey, y'all, and welcome to day 32 of the WSOP and the fourth annual WSOP and All Vegas Poker's Daily Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pluskota, your host, aka Peaches, and aka the White Oprah of the poker community, which somebody was screaming at me yesterday in the hallway, which was hilarious. By the way, it still brings a smile to my face when I think about that. And I can't tell you why, other than I think it's hilarious. But anyway, today is meetup game day. Hello, hello, hello. It's going to be off the chain, people, off the chain. And I want to give a little shout out to HCK. No, P. No. Oh, my Lord, slow down. PCK of the Golden Baboons, he's going to ship an autographed copy of the book he wrote, Tequila Falls, The Case of the Silver Scoundrels. And if you don't know, he always does a free roll in the Green Visor Gang group for the community on Wednesday nights, and they host a space and, just chit chat, talk shit, and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate you, PCK, and I'll be able to spit it out sooner or later. PCK. Thank you so much for that donation. We're going to give it away as an attendance prize at the meetup game today. Also, thanks to Mel King, who brought us some t-shirts from the PPL Poker group. And what that is, the gentleman makes customized poker tables. So we have some of his t-shirts to give away today. And I think I have an extra one I'm going to keep to put on the next quilt or one of the next quilts. I can't promise what t-shirt's going to go on what quilt till I lay them out and see the colors and, the designs and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you to those folks for those donations to the meetup game. Definitely adds to the fun when we have lots of stuff to give away. I also want to make mention that the poker t-shirt quilt, the portal to make donations is officially closed now. I'm happy to say that we did get over the $1,000 mark. I'm not going to give the exact total today, or at least not right now, because I want somebody else to double check what I've done to make sure I've done it correctly, because I'm tired, and it always helps when you have a second set of eyes to look at things. So we did get over $1,000, and I think 190 tickets were scooped up. So I'm very excited about that donation that we're going to be able to see at work, feeding the homeless via Poker Gives here in Las Vegas. So exciting project indeed. And of course, we're going to do the drawing to see who the winner is tomorrow. And I do want to make mention that Kevin Mathers has tickets, and he said if he wins it, that he wants me to redraw, that he just wanted to make the donation. So hats off to Kevin Mathers for that donation to the project for sure. I also wanted to make mention, sorry, I had frog in my throat. I had 3 tickets left over out of the ones that I purchased for myself to give away. So I'm going to give one to Papa Poker, one to D-Man, because I appreciate you always retweeting my space buddy and my tweets. You're very supportive, and I appreciate that. So one of those tickets is going to go to D-Man. And the third one, I was hoping she'd be in here, so somebody's going to have to remind me to tell Tracy, the birthday girl, that she's getting a ticket today as well. So that's what I'm going to do with those 3 leftover tickets that I have. So I'm excited to give those away. Now, I do want to read off the names of the folks that stopped by yesterday to sign the quilt. It was really, honestly, I'm going to have to think about this the next time, but I really think I need to ask Jack if I can do a table in that hallway for more than just the 2 days that I did it, because it really got the traffic going, right? We got some more donations in, lots of people came by to sign it, and I feel like we could get more signatures, and it would be, I think the more signatures, the more fun. So I have to rethink that about next year. But let me go ahead and read off the names of the folks that stopped by. Robbie Straczynski, Chad Holloway, Tara Smith, Kathy Liebert, Christy Moreno, Lexi Gavin Mather, Kyle Maxwell, The Grinder, Michael Mizaraki, Ronnie Bardall, Steve Bellarikis, Haley Hanna, Natalie Bromley, Patricia Trammell, and Mike Holtz all stopped by yesterday. I hope I didn't leave anybody off the list. Um, I try to, while things are going on, I try to write a quick note to myself, like who just signed it. And honestly, I try to take pictures of everybody signing it. And I think there were probably in the last 2 days, probably 10 or 12 people. I'm like, shit, I forgot to take their picture. But I just substituted one of their online photos and, it all works out in the end. I just want to recognize that they, signed the quilt. So that's what that's all about. Again, today's meetup game, 2 p.m. at the Bellagio. Be there, be square. Pizza will be provided. And hats off again to Sean McCormick and Craig Larson for hosting us over at the Bellagio. Cash game, 2 o'clock, folks. Be there or be square. I'm just trying to get all these announcements out of the way. Don't forget tomorrow, the Hippodrome poker package for the ladies weekend. It is a ladies only drawing. It's going to be the winner is going to be picked tomorrow at the meetup game. I'm really excited to give that package away tomorrow. So right now we have 2 ladies qualified, but I did hear some murmurs in that hallway yesterday as people were passing me by that they think they're going to come today if they're not in, a day 2 of something to try to get some tickets. So we'll see how many ladies we actually end up with in that drawing. So, of course, I'm excited about that as well. Nothing more fun than giving something like that away. I'm telling you, every hat, T-shirt, book, swag. I mean, anything we give away is just so fun. It just makes poker fun. We have a great time. This is not a game you come to because you're going to pick off everybody's chip stacks. Yeah, the goal is to leave a winner, but we're not there to like fleece each other. It's a friendly poker game. And so having those prizes definitely takes us down that road of fun. So today at 2 o'clock, people, some winners around town over at the Nugget, Barbara Luher, Matt Gott, and Roland Boucher, all ICM Chop, the 1 p.m. $200 tournament. Tina Lugay is on a roll. She was in a 3-way chop with the ladies event over at the Nugget. And when we did the drawing for the WSOP ladies event ticket, $1,000 ticket, she won that drawing. So she got into the ladies event yesterday for free, which is also exciting. I'm not sure if she's still in it or not. I hope so. I didn't have a chance to check, but good luck to her. Over at the Aria Chen Wing Lee and Lynn Kercharo chopped the $800 ladies tournament for $27,000 each plus their bounties. Over at the Venetian, Judith Blyland took 3rd place in the ladies event for $22K. Amber Sullivan won the ladies event for $40K in a heads up deal. And I'm sorry, but I didn't have time to research who came in second in that heads up deal. So sorry about that, winner. If I come across it or somebody wants to provide it, I'll be happy to announce it in the near future for sure. All right. Exec Deck, how are you, buddy? Are you traveling? Have you made it here? What's going on?
Hi, good morning. I am on the road, just in Barstow, heading up the 15 freeway, so shouldn't be long.
Awesome. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I am running on fumes, but now the adrenaline is kicked in. So at some point, I'm going to hit that wall. Let's hope it's at like 10 p.m. tonight.
Well, great to be here. Excited for the meetup game and really looking forward to it.
Well, looking forward to seeing you and remind me to talk with you about that reservation for tomorrow. We got to figure out who wants to go.
Yeah, so, I kind of assumed it would be so packed that it may be a crapshoot to get in there first night open or whatever. But
well, we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah,
we're going to give it a shot for sure. But when we're at the game, let's take a poll and see who wants to go with us.
Awesome.
Please
I did have one quick question for you.
Yes.
So in the early days of the WSOP spaces, we were talking about list of items to bring to these, long tournaments and stuff to throw in your backpack. Did you write that down
Yes.
on any post, or can you maybe put it in the chat? We happen to
Uh,
have it.
I actually, let's see if I have it with me. Hold on. I actually, give me 1 second. I'm looking. I kind of downsize the paper in my folder when I travel, but I try to leave the lists in here. Hold on a minute.
Okay,
Yeah, I
that's
do
not
have
no
it.
big deal.
No,
Yeah,
I do have it with me. I do have it with me. I'll take a screenshot and send it to you. And the reason
awesome.
I'm doing that instead of posting the typed up list is because we had added some things after the typed up list was made. So I'm just going to send you a screenshot of this.
Appreciate that. I could always use some
List I'll have.
ideas. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. You are most welcome. Hey, ASG, how are you?
All right. A little tired staying up watching the PPC, but
Well, look, our horse took it down. Benny Glazer got us some points. We jumped up to 278th place on Team Spacers. Now, if we could just get Chewy to come over here and stop playing over at the Win, we might just be able to get into the top 100. Are you there, ASG?
oh, I didn't know there was a question there.
Oh, I just know. I thought we were going to talk about it. I was like, wait. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we need our team to, we keep bouncing back and forth between like the 200s and say the 500s. So we got to, we got to make a move here. We're running out of time, ASG.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
Oh, ASG's lost hope. ASG, you just proved to me you've lost hope in our team. It's okay. I understand why. I understand why. No worries. No worries whatsoever. Be reminded, Etay's going to join us here shortly. Looking forward to it. She was just named the BetMGM ambassador, and unfortunately, there are some, misogynistic pigs out there making an issue already. The lady is more than deserving, but we'll get into all that when she's here with us for sure. Joey, I'm trying to get you up here. If you can request a microphone, it probably would work out better. I'm sure he will as soon as he gets a moment. Exec deck, answer to your question. Yes, I do. You DM me. Yes, I do. All right. I'm just trying to look at some messages really quickly, guys, to try to catch up on, I have folks texting me about coming to the meetup game, not coming to the meetup game. And that's fine. It happens every time because now people have actually made it into a day two. So now they can tell me, yep, I'm out. Or, oh, I didn't play that tournament. I will be at the meetup game. And fabulous. Both are fabulous because guess what? I want you to be in day two winning. I mean, that's just plain and simple, right? We want everybody winning and being at a poker, table in a tournament. That's why we're in Vegas is, the tournaments. So coming to the meetup game is a fun sidekick, but priorities. Hey, Joey, how are you?
I'm good, Sherry. Just a little tired. Ladies' Day is my busiest day of the year. So we're good, though. We're good.
Good. I know we're all kind of burning the candle at both ends right now, and it is what it is. And in a month from now, we're going to be twiddling our thumbs, going, "Man, don't I have something I need to be doing?" Because we're so busy right now that when it slows down, we're not going to know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, I am going to finish counting the rest of your chips that I owned to see how much I can buy into the meetup game this afternoon. While I do that, I'm going to turn it over to Joey for a lesson of the day. Joey Gargiulo, thank you so much, buddy.
Sherry, it must be nice free rolling.
Hell yeah. Especially with Joey chips.
Yeah, really. So, gang, today we're going to talk about breaks during tournaments. And in case you don't realize it, the tournament breaks are sacred. This is our chance to come back to ourselves, chance to clear the last level from our energy. Yet so many players I see just they just go through the motions of a break, and first thing they do is go to the bathroom, and they, especially the women, you have long lines on your bathroom. So I want to take my break. I don't want to spend my break on a bathroom line or a food line or listening to a crowd of people around me all walking down a hallway talking about their bad beats. So I had to become a little clever and become the master of breaks. So I'll tell you what, all I can say is from experience, what I do and what I learned from experience and what works for me. But ultimately, everybody has to have their own version of what I do. And so one of the first things I do is during the tournament, I make my own breaks. If I feel the urge to go to the bathroom, I just wait for the button to pass, and I do that speed walk to the bathroom, and then I do what I have to do. I wash my hands. If my hands have to come back being dried on the way back from the bathroom, so be it. But players don't mind if I come back with wet hands, because that shows that I washed my hands, right? But I make my own breaks. And if you're really strategic about it, you can actually get to the point where you see where the button is, you see how much time is left on the clock, and you just slow roll just enough each hand so that after the button passes, there's 2 to 4 minutes left on the clock, and then I just leave. I get a head start on the crowds. I get a head start on everybody else. I extend my breaks by a few minutes. And with the button being somewhere in the middle position, I also don't have to worry about hightailing it back with that clock counting down like I might miss a hand. I don't care if I miss a hand. I'm not in the blinds. Doesn't always work out that way, but if you're strategic, you can really time it so that you take your breaks a little bit early. Now, I've had some interesting breaks in different places in the country. For me, I need to go outside. I just need to go outside, feel the sun, feel the wind, walk barefoot in the grass, hug a tree. And depending on where I've been in the world, those breaks have been very, very interesting. Joplin, Missouri, downstream, for instance, they have white buffalo on the property. Like, how cool is that? So I will go outside when I'm there and just go up to the fence and just chill and look at these rare albino buffalo. I think my favorite is Cherokee, because there's a trout stream that intertwines in and around the casino. And you know who I am? I'm the guy that brings a collapsible fishing rod that's meant to go into a suitcase in my backpack. And that's something I forgot to add to my list. If I'm in Cherokee, I will bring my fishing rod, and I literally go fishing during my break, because it clears. I'm not thinking about anything other than fishing. And for those that are wondering, have I ever caught a fish during the break? Well, there was a dealer there that knew that I was going fishing, and she's known that I've caught fish, not during breaks, but mainly like on my days off. And one day she said, "Joey, my mom loves trout. Can you get her a trout?" And as luck would have it, I caught a trout during the break. I culled it, and in our world, fishing world, that means I gutted it and made sure I bled it and made sure it was all good. I wrapped it in a plastic bag, and my backpack that I use in Cherokee is one of those waterproof Coleman beer backpacks, right? So it has insulation, it has ice in it, yada, yada, yada. All of a sudden, Floor comes over to me about 10 minutes after the break is over, and they're like, "Joey, do you have an animal in your backpack?" And I'm like, "No, why?" They're like, "A player's saying that your backpack is moving." Would you imagine the fish didn't die, or the nerves were still alive? This fish was wiggling in my backpack, and I had to open it and show the floor that I had a fish in my bag. And luckily I knew the floor, and I just said, "Well, this is my emotional support fish. You can't stop me from having it at the table." Okay.
Oh, Lordy, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We don't want to accept any of the ADA stuff. And
All
emotionally
right.
support fish, dog, animal is not
Okay.
covered by law. So we're going to
I
keep
know,
that
I know.
straight.
And it was a joke, though. It was a joke.
I know you were. I know you were,
I
but I
know.
just had to jump in
I
there
know
and
you had
poke
to
at
say
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, here in Vegas, it's a little bit more difficult, right? Because it's a city. But you could find oases. They're there. You just have to know where they are. In WSOP, it definitely is the Platinum Lounge because it's very quiet in there for those that can get in. But if it's not the Platinum Lounge, I have a little secret that anybody can do. Just go to the elevators, like in Horseshoe or Paris, doesn't matter. Go up one floor or two floors. On every floor, there's a little quiet area near the vending machine with a couch, a couple of couches. I did some of your shows from that area because I didn't want to wake Colette up in the hotel room, and I couldn't be down in the casino, and the Platinum Lounge didn't open up yet. So you can find very quiet corners of the casino on the floors where people are staying. So find your oasis, clear your mind. You know, breaks are very sacred, and everybody thinks of a break as not part of poker, but reality, it's part of the poker game. And what you do with your break is really, really important. It's a time to reset. It's a time to just let your nervous system calm down. Make sure your breather was good. Test your ego. You could think about the hands and stuff, but more importantly, when you're taking that picture of your chip stack before you leave the table, count the chips, look at the next level, figure out how many blinds you're coming back to. What's my strategy with 31 big blinds, at this stage of the tournament? How far I'm away from the bubble? Stuff that you don't have to think about so much at the table that is poker related. This is the time. Maybe it's a time to phone a friend. Sometimes we can't let it go, right? So we need to talk to somebody. Phone a friend. Don't speak to somebody else in the tournament because you're just going to hear their stories. Phone a friend that's not playing poker that day, and or a coach if you have a coach. Just call somebody and just let it out. Let somebody say, "Good job, Sherry. You're doing good." Like that. Sometimes that's all we need. For me, I'd rather call Colette. I'd rather be with Colette and call our granddaughter. Something not poker related. I'll call my mom just to say hello. Hey, Mom, I'm on break. Too many people go on their phone and they're doing sports bets. They're looking at social media and they're going on tilt because of all the crazy shit going on in the world. That's not the time. That's not what breaks are for. They really aren't. And you just need a routine, and whatever brings you back to center, and it's different for everybody. But whatever brings you back to your breath, whatever brings you back to your present, whatever reminds you that you are not the last hand, not the last pot, not the last mistake, and not the last bad beat. You just need to get that routine, and once you find it, stick to it. It's and if you're going somewhere to a casino that you never played at before the tournament starts, plan out where your break's going to be, what the route is going to be. Find those hidden bathrooms too that nobody knows about, that you can walk to, that in case you have to go to the bathroom on the way back from the break. There's so many little tricks to it. But the main thing is I guess the best word is detox. Detox from poker. That's a good word. And just figure out what it is, but use the breaks strategically. And that's today's lesson. And
Great lesson
tomorrow,
indeed. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
What are we doing tomorrow? Do you remember? I have it
Yeah,
here.
I know. I'm collapsing tomorrow. Pretty sure collapsing.
I know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is, I know, you're collapsing tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about max late reg. That's what we're talking about.
Awesome.
I remember, yes. But yeah, we're
Awesome.
collapsing tomorrow for sure.
Collapsing. That's what I'll be doing. Although we'll be doing the quilts raffle at some point. But thank you for that lesson. I think it's a valuable one in the fact that sometimes we just don't think ahead and we really need to preserve that break so that it can actually be a break and not a time rushing around trying to do stuff. And I, like you, try to leave the table a little bit early if I'm not in the blinds or the button or whatever the position. So I think it's important to maintain that break so you can actually have the break mentally, physically. So love that. I love the fact you got busted with a dead fish in your backpack at Cherokee. I thought you were going to say that because you have to have a fishing license and it has to be one of the reservation fishing
Yeah, it's
license.
easy to
So
get.
I thought you were going to say they tapped me on the shoulder. We're going to issue me a ticket because I didn't have a fishing license. But instead, you got busted with the fish. I love
Yeah, the
it.
fish at the
What a
table.
great story.
Yeah.
And I do want to add to you talked about the little sitting areas on each floor of the hotels, and they're awesome. I've actually sat there to do a space myself in the past. But I'm going to tell you guys a story from I don't remember what day it was, earlier in the week. I was running to go meet or something. I was going somewhere. I don't even know. It may have been going to the ladies' warm up event. And I was standing in the hall waiting for the elevators. And when you turn from the elevator banks, you can see that little sitting area. And there was a gentleman sitting there and, you know, whatever. And I couldn't see what he was doing because the chair was in the way. I figured out later what he was doing because of what he said to me, but I didn't see what he was doing. And he said, "Hey," I said, "Hey." And he said, "When I finish rolling it, you can join me." I said, "Oh, no, thanks, though." He goes, "Wait, are you by yourself? I mean, we could go do something." And I said, "I don't think I should tell you that information, sir." And he goes, "Oh my God, you're right. I'm so sorry I even asked you that question." I go, "Yeah, safety and all. I don't think it's good for a lady to tell somebody that she actually doesn't even know their name, if I'm here by myself or whatever." Oh, I just laughed all the way down to the first floor. But anyway, yeah, gentlemen, don't do that. Like, don't do that. Yeah, it's creepy. I mean, I know he didn't mean any harm because he realized his mistake as soon as I said what I said. But yeah, let's not do that. It's creepy. It's scary. It can be scary. But yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Never a dull moment in Vegas, people. Never a dull moment. All right, ASG, are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Um, I discovered I was looking for somebody's name on the ladies' event list, and so I was scrolling through it, and I came across Sean Deeb's name on the ladies' event roster. Was he indeed entered into that tournament, or did somebody just put his name as their name to mess with him? Do we
I
know?
saw no evidence of Sean Deeb in that event. I tried searching and saw that name there, and then when it finally got to the end of the day, it was the amount of dollars equaled the amount of entrance. Like, nobody paid $10,000 to enter this, so I'm gonna say that no men entered this event.
Okay. Because that's a screenshot that I tweeted that I took when I saw it. So I know his name was in there at that point, but it could have just been he may have been registering for something else and clicked on the wrong tournament by mistake. It could have been somebody trying to just play a joke or whatever. But I do know other people have said that they tried to find it, they couldn't find it either. So I guess it rectified itself. But I did ask somebody with the WSOP and got no answer. So I thought that was interesting as well. And Cancun was the second one they said that entered, but Brian actually figured that out and put a screenshot up that actually showed the table that he claimed to be registered at. who was actually at that table. And of course, he wasn't. So it was just an AI or doctored up screenshot that Cantoon was trying to pass off for real. So, and the funny thing is, the seat he said he was in was actually occupied by a friend of mine from Georgia. And I just laughed when I saw that. I was like, yeah, you're not in that seat. My friend Susan is, you dork. But anyway, I guess Cantoon is looking for clicks these days. He's desperate if this is what he's up to. But anyway, I just wondered if there was anything else that I missed just because I'm a little bit busy. But appreciate that. Hey, did you guys know for the first time the winner of the Poker Players Championship will get a miniature replica of the Chip Reese Memorial Trophy? I thought that was pretty awesome. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, it was at the table. It was they presented it last night. It was really, really cool, and it was beautiful. It really was.
That's very cool. And what they did in the past is they just add the name of the winner onto the big trophy, and then it comes back every year. But the player doesn't get to take it home. It just stays with the WSOP in storage or whatever on display somewhere. I don't even know where they put it. But so I think that's a great touch to add to that winner's circle, that miniature trophy. I love that. Absolutely love that. All right, you guys. Anybody got anything they want to bring up? We got some time. Now's the time. Oh, Joey, I'm going to let you. Oh, Joey, I know there's something on your mind today, Joe.
Yeah.
Joey has. Go ahead.
All right. I have to get it off my chest.
Yeah, tell the listeners what happened and what your thoughts are, buddy. It's all yours.
So to bring anybody up to speed that doesn't know about it, couple of weeks, 10 days ago, Jared Blesnick was in the booth, and it was during, what was it, the 250K super high rollers and stuff. And it was bad enough that the seniors tournament was not mic'd up or cameraed. And luckily for those players, they actually did some pans into the table. And every time they did, Blesnick just disrespected the seniors and made fun of the event and the players and yada, yada, yada. And he is not.
And even let's not forget that he even said he was not going to call the action.
Yeah,
he was refusing to call the action.
Right. And he got more and more furious. Now, keep in mind, we are not missing a single hand on the feature table because it's on a 2-hour delay. It's being paused, the action. So it's not like we're missing anything, okay? We're just trying to give coverage to other tournaments, especially ones that aren't mic'd up, just to because some of us have friends and family at those tables and fellow people from our state and our poker clubs and yada, yada, yada.
Or guess what? We may have been in it and busted and just want to see what the results are.
Exactly. And he has not been in the booth since then. I was even thinking maybe they suspended him. I didn't know, because why wasn't he in the booth for 10 days? It was cool. We had some good footage. We had people like Maria Ho and stuff in the booth. And they brought him back last night. Now.
Which was kind of surprising because yesterday Jeff Platt never mentioned his name as to go back into the booth. He said Ali and Nick were going to call the action last night. And yeah, that's not what happened. So I found that interesting too.
Now, Ali called it perfectly. He called out Jared that you're bluffing. Now, this is something you may not know, Sherry. The bluff started in the morning because in the morning, Jared put this tweet out about how he was covering. So it wasn't known. He put a tweet out that he was covering the 50 PPC and super excited because he's also covering the Super Seniors event. But it was
so being condescending.
Yes. And lo and behold, they pan into the table. Now, let me set some precedent here, okay? For those that don't know. I lived in Florida for a while, so I know. We have a superstar in Florida. Her name is Nancy. She's been playing poker probably longer than Blesnick was born. And her nickname back in the day, which still carries today, it's even on her header mob, is Trouble. because when she shows up at your table, you're in trouble. All right. A lot of fans, super loved, just got married. Her wife was at the rail. Her wife Heather was there. These are wholesome, awesome people. And
by the way, her name is Nancy Birnbaum.
Yes,
Let's get that last name out there.
yes.
Nancy Birnbaum.
Right? Well over $1 million in lifetime earnings, over 400 cashes. This is a rock star, okay? Last woman standing in this tournament on the same day as the ladies event. You know how many ladies I ran into that wanted to be at that rail? They were running over at the rail during their breaks, but they couldn't see it. They were like, oh, just watch the footage later.
Yeah, I stopped over for a few minutes right when she was in the hand pocket eights versus ace king. I just got right to that rail and was able to cheer on that hand, which was very cool. And then her and Jeff did an interview.
Yeah.
So very cool. Go ahead.
So I think most of the world was expecting an apology from him and also some commentating on the event. But he seized the moment to, we'll call them soft jokes, because he knew he couldn't really cross the line. But he made a mockery of the event. He really did. And then it got worse, because then they were panning out to the ladies tournament. And it was great because we were seeing all these different people. Tracy and I saw the back of her head. Oh my God, right? Like people in that tournament would want to see the footage of this, right?
Right.
And
it's thrilling.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, it's not been very long since there's been any footage of the ladies event on any coverage. It's only in the last few years that they've even televised the final table.
Right.
So it is a big deal to the women.
It's huge, right? I mean, we're talking about international champions and rock stars in this event. It was the who's who of women poker players in Vegas right now in this tournament. And the first comment he made was like, oh my God, it's day one of the tournament, And then
I'm going to tell you, Joey, I tuned in right when he was saying some stuff, and he was like, nobody wants to watch day one of the ladies event. Not anybody anywhere wants to watch this tournament. And Ali was like, dude, and I don't remember the young lady's name that they were zooming in on, but he's like, dude, she's got a big following. There are people, her fans, her family, that want to see what's going on in this hand. You really need to stop. And he was like, nobody wants to see the day one of the ladies event. Like, it was so ridiculous.
It was. I mean, there was one scene where, let's say at this time, the average chip stack was 90K. And he was like, even made a mockery. He's like, oh my God, look, they're pushing a 30K pot to that woman. Like, yeah, that's a big fucking pot. Excuse my language, but that's a big pot at this stage. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about, right? Yeah, 30K is huge. But yeah. So here's my thoughts on that. All right. Call me old school if you want, because he brought out the New Yorker in me. All right.
And Joey's standing up.
Oh, yeah. I was brought up. Most of us were brought up with manners. All right. Number one, respect your goddamn elders. All right. They deserve it, don't they? All right. Especially the women elders. Everybody has a mother. Everybody has grandmothers. Everybody has great grandmothers, including him. I mean, how would he like it if his mother was at that table? All right. How would he like it if he has, I don't know if he has children, but I have 2 daughters, right? And a granddaughter. All right. How would he like it if his daughters were in the ladies event? And just as they're luckily panning the camera, maybe the back of his daughter's head, some clown is making jokes about this event that his daughter studied all year for, saved her money up all year. This is serious shit. You could disrespect, you want to disrespect people, disrespect the high rollers, your good old buddies. They can handle it, okay? But in our world where we don't have $1 million to make prop bets on the side, like, we hold on to certain things, we hold on to our family, all right? And it was just so unacceptable on so many levels. WSOP, you could do much, much better. All right, put one of us in the booth. All right, put me and Isaac in the booth. Can you imagine? All right, there's so many options, But the sick part is that I think it was more of a zing because we were all expecting an apology. All right. And I get it. People like his commentating. He's got a cool voice. He does have some knowledge, but he's not the only one. All right. And the respect factor has to be there.
Nobody shows up to be insulted. And, I read some tweets this morning that he was like ruining Benny's moment to shine when he won the tournament, that some of the comments he said were so out of line that it was ruining the moment for Benny. Now, I haven't gone back and listened to it, so I can't judge, but you have some strong names in poker posting that. And I was like, wow, like he must have been really acting like a fool. And I see Mel's comments in Poker Girl's comments in the chat. It says, I think Blez is trying to be relevant. This is his shtick. Negative publicity is publicity. I could not agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. And for me, I also think, okay, is the WSOP so desperate for clicks that they are, doubling down on him in the booth? Like it's in their hands, and they know what the public, outcry was over the seniors event. And now he does it with the super seniors event and the ladies event. Like, when is enough, WSOP? Like, come on, do better. We deserve better.
Yeah. I mean, what's so funny? Here in Spaces, you were joking around yesterday. Isaac, get ready with that reject button, right? And whenever we, so back in New York and when in the early Howard Stern days, or like we go back to all the radios, somebody's in the booth with the button, right? It's on a little delay, right?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
How did we not have a button? Okay, and it doesn't make any sense. How do we not have a button?
Yeah, well, we do, and we're choosing not to. We're choosing not to click it, and to even start the lever to start the show with him in the booth tells you everything you need to know about what WSOP is thinking about, and it certainly isn't the audience. ASG, do you have any comments, buddy?
Yeah, in terms of the poker, you could tell he was like, I think he's like friends with RA or something. So like his commentary was just about like how much Glazer's getting hit with the deck, and yeah, that's true and all, but like still, like, your job as a commentator is to, either talk about how he's taking advantage of getting hit with the deck, or talk about like why in 7 deuce you decide to draw 2 versus 3 cards, or that kind of thing. Like, your job is to educate, not to make it about yourself.
Right. And guess what? You're supposed to be neutral. I mean, it's okay that it's your friend or whatever, but there has to be some sense of neutrality, right?
The comments were bad, Sherry. One of the comments he made, like when they panned into somebody at the Super Seniors table, he goes, "Oh my God, look at this guy. He had a cash in 1998." Like, that's how we said it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What an insult for that family. So many people are going to watch that footage and be like, are you kidding me?
Well, and I hope his family and him speak out and, let the WSOP know it's unacceptable. Like, that's not why we're tuning in.
I'll tell you, Ali did a very good job of reeling him in, because he even said the comment, one day you're going to be a senior. You're going to be a super senior. I like to see somebody treat you that way, or something like that. Like,
good for Ali. And Ali did try to reel him in on the ladies with that one hand that I spoke about earlier. He did try to reel him in then too. And Blaz just was doubling down. Like, he didn't give a shit that this seasoned, amazing commentator is trying to help you and teach you how to become him. And he just totally ignored it and just tripled down on the shit. I tuned out, but I had shit to do. Anyway, Dusty, get back up here and give us your comments, buddy. I know we took a little bit longer, but I'm going to bring Barry up. He's got some comments, then we're going to move along. Welcome, Barry. How are you?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, bud?
I'm good. I think I got to say, just like yesterday when I said, is it possible that Brandon Cantu's tweet was just a joke that didn't hit? And it turns out Etay confirmed that in some of her follow-up tweets and whatnot.
Oh, good. We're gonna talk about that when she gets here. Good. I'm glad to hear
I
that. And
I used to think wrestling was real also. Same thing, same thing with Jared Blesnick. It's just his way of playing a role, playing a character. I go way back 20, 25 years. Used to play poker with his mom in her basement in Roslyn. So yeah, feeding too much into it. It's just enough just to get you triggered, a little
well,
rage bait. That's all it is.
But
yeah, but
saying like,
that's not why I tune into. That's not why I tune in to watch poker.
yeah,
So
yes, that is like even Jeff said, like, oh, he's trying to be a heel, but like watch any other sport, watch baseball, watch football, like no commentators are trying to make themselves the enemy. Like that's not what commentary and being in the booth is supposed to be about.
and I'm surely not tuning in for that shit.
But
Honestly.
it's obviously working because that's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
I'd say it's obviously not working because that's what everybody's talking about.
And I think both points are valid.
Exactly.
Honestly, I think both points are valid. Because that old saying, no publicity is bad publicity. But I'm going to tell you, for me, I have no problem shutting that shit off or not even watching it when he's in the booth. So now you've lost at least one listener. I don't know about other people, but whatever. And guess what? That means I'm not going to talk much about it on my show either. Why? Because I didn't get to watch it. So what do I know about it? Nothing. So Poker Girl follows up with, I'm hoping this is just a fumble for the WSOP and GG Poker, and next year they'll recover, even if it's 3rd and 10. I think Jeff Platt generally understands the concerns and will work for improvements. Yep, I agree. Totally agree. I think Jeff is the heartbeat, and I think he's doing a great job. He's working his butt off for sure, and he's listening. And the only way things can be improved is if you have somebody listening. So definitely on that train as well. Looking forward to those changes next year for sure. And guess what? Those are all new staff members learning, trying to figure it out, and they're doing it differently than years before. So everything's new, the processes, the coverage, the people involved, the technology, the timing involved with it having to go to Korea to be edited or whatever they're doing in Korea, production, post production, whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. And so I tend to agree with you, and we got to give them a chance to improve it. But they also need to hear what needs to be improved from their customers, their absolute customers. So, anything else anybody want to bring up as we? Oh, Dusty, come on, buddy. How are you? Sorry if we took so
Hey,
long.
no worries, White Oprah. I just really want to thank you for the show and I guess apologize for the poker community having that taste of misogyny. It's just so gross. Um,
It's so
it just
disappointing.
waters down the experience of the experience. It's just garbage. But I'll
I
get off that
appreciate
point.
I
And
appreciate those
I
words,
want
though.
to ask you what I've got a tournament coming up that I'm headed to Manila for, and this is the first time I played internationally. Do you have any
Oh, nice.
words of advice or pitfalls to avoid? I'm headed to Manila to play in a big
Yes.
one in July.
I love that you're going there. I love that you're going there. I'm going to say the one thing that you have to make a priority is staying hydrated, because that long flight that you take is going to dehydrate you and you may not even realize it. And then when you get there, you're going to be, playing poker for long hours and, probably sightseeing and blah, 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 blah. So hydration, and maybe take some liquid IV with you or some packets of powdered, what do you call it? Pedialyte. I highly recommend taking, and you can get them at Walmart in the baby aisles. They have packets. They're a little blue and white box of Pedialyte packets. They fit really nicely in the suitcase, and just drink one of those, like, add it to a Gatorade every couple of days, every other day. Definitely on the flight, have one, and maybe the day you get there, have one, and then just hydrate. Now, it's important to remember you're the guest in someone else's country. So maybe research it for some of their traditions or local places to go that you can enjoy some of the flavor of that country on a local level. Um, Joey, you have any comments? Any recommendations?
Yeah, so there's going to be a time difference, obviously. So don't wait until you get to the country to adjust. I'd start adjusting your sleep habits a day before, a couple days before. Does that make sense?
I did. I started a week before when I went to Malta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you could, right. I mean, and you could ease yourself into it. Just stay up an extra hour or go to sleep an extra hour early, whatever it is, building up to it. And so that's a huge thing too, because the jet lag or the reverse jet lag, you know what I'm talking about. These things can really mess you up big time. And you just want to, and the biggest advice, if you didn't book your tickets already, give yourself at least a day or two there before you play, Dusty. You know what I'm saying? Don't get off the plane and jump into the cash room like you probably want to do. You know?
Definitely. I appreciate the words of wisdom. I've made that mistake before, and it's one of the rules. No cash games before tournament day.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and I don't even play poker on the day I arrive. I learned that a long time ago too. I never play on the day that I arrive. Um, I also would say um, double check their luggage sizes. And if you are stopping in any other country to, do any sightseeing or whatever on the front end or the back end of your trip, make sure you check those airlines for their luggage sizes because they don't have standard sizes like we have here in the United States. So, for instance, when I went to Malta, here we can have, what a normal carry on is. But then we had to take a different airline from France to, or no, it was from Malta to Rome. We took a different airline and their carry on sizes were smaller. So you definitely want to look up the luggage sizes, carry on, and the ones that'll go in the cargo. Because sometimes our big, we're bigger in the United States. Um, those won't work when you're traveling elsewhere, and then you're paying a fee for those bags that would maybe normally be free. So that's another thing I would look into. ASG, any suggestions?
Uh, no, besides what you already said, yeah, get used to the sleep schedule. I don't know. I've never done that Pedialyte thing, but you know, yeah. And then depends on what kind of tournaments you're playing. Like to like in terms of how you want to practice those kind of tournaments to try to do something with a similar format. But yeah, not much to add beyond that though.
All right, thank you. How about you, Barry? You have anything to add?
No, like you said, stay hydrated. Don't worry about the jet lag and whatnot. Get some rest and you'll be fine.
Right on. All right, let's talk about the Pedialyte. That is my sports coaching coming out for the conversation. That is a secret in the sports world. Pedialyte is what keeps those athletes hydrated. If their parents are smart enough to research it, um, yeah, always have your kids, especially if you're doing a tournament play or tennis, because it's just another beast. The night before they start, they have a Pedialyte. And then as the tournament goes on, you have some in between as well. So that definitely helps with athletes from going into cramping. So that's where that comes from. best way to hydrate is with that Pedialyte or an IV if you want to carry an IV bag. But anyway, also, Dusty, I think I would probably recommend maybe taking some protein bars for your backpack for a quick snack because you may not realize or know like what they offer if they're going to have a snack bar there for you to purchase something while you're playing. So I would also recommend to take something with you for your backpack as far as snack stuff, maybe some beef jerky, some Slim Jim, some um, almonds, protein bars, something like that to put in your backpack because you just don't know what the snacks you can grab on the go or whatever. So I hope that helps, Dusty. Go ahead.
Thank you for everything. I appreciate all the wonderful suggestions. You guys have a great day and good luck in your action.
Appreciate you, Dusty.
Yeah, I always have jerky and trail mix in my bag for such things.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you travel internationally, you just don't know what they're going to have there to or provide, right? And where you'll have to go. Like, do you have to take an Uber somewhere to go to the store to get something to have on hand? Or, so we always carry stuff so that when we first get there until we get our bearings, we have stuff with us to hold us over until we figure it out when we get there kind of thing. And seems to work for us anyway. So there you go. There's my thoughts, you guys. All right. Anybody else want to bring anything else up? I'm going to send Etay a reminder. This will be her first time coming into a space, so I want to make sure that I'm keeping an eye on my DMs in case she's having a difficult time and needs help, which will be the first time for a new guest for sure. Looking forward to
Oh, yeah, there was another example of instruction cards and jokers in the deck.
Yes, I forgot about that. And, oh my God, go ahead, explain it, please.
Oh, somebody posted a screenshot that the small blind was dealt instruction cards and their hand is dead, so I guess that means it wasn't even a misdeal. And then later it got to a three-way all-in, and the dealer dealt a joker on the river.
Could you imagine being in the blinds and then it gets your turn, and because there's so much action, your cards are dead because there is a stupid filler card from the deck is your second
Are you
card.
then in relief that you're not dealing with the hand with the joker on the river?
Oh my God, you guys. And what was the salute or the end of that? What's the salute? What happened? What was remind me?
I did not see what the resolution was. It just said that the small blind was dealt an instruction card and their hand was dead. I don't know if they called the floor or if they just decided their hand was dead. Then it said three-way all in on the turn, and the dealer pings a joker on the river in the same hand. Las Vegas Cabbie Chronicles replied, the problem isn't just that so many dealers at the WSOP are brand new. It's that they're brand new and don't speak English. Announcements are made literally every fucking morning reminding dealers to remove the rule cards and jokers from the deck.
It's insane. Like, think about that. Think about that. Well, how did we get to this point? I don't understand how we got to this point. We have senior bashing, women bashing in the booth. We have dealers that don't speak English. How have we gotten to this point? What are we doing here? What are we doing? We're going backwards in time. Something.
Yeah, even an amateur dealer who was just picked up from Barry's game would know, hey, if I got an instruction card, maybe there's some other cards that shouldn't be here in this deck.
Oh my God, you guys. Oh, Atlanta. They never even probably played Go Fish with their folks or their grandma, that they don't know that those cards don't belong. Like, what are we doing here? I don't get it. And I certainly don't know what the solution is, but we've had struggling dealers in the past, but This is a new low. And I don't know how we went to a new low instead of a better high. I'm not sure.
I'm not even sure if we're at new lows. Like I still my number one is still the color up fiasco, however many years ago.
Wait, the what? Say it again. The what disaster?
The color up.
Oh, yeah. When the dealer put the chips away, is that what you're talking about?
When the dealer decided the color up meant that he should take everybody's chips and
Yeah.
combine them into different colors. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was about 3 years ago, I want to say. Maybe, yeah, I think 3. I think that was the first summer I did the coverage. I think we talked about that, or the second summer, 2024. But yeah, they colored everybody up during break by combining all the stacks. And yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Never a dull moment, you guys. Never a dull moment. But there's a lot of good things happening as well at the WSOP, and we can't forget about that. We have the Caesar Eats app where you can order food and be delivered to your table. That's a huge improvement this year. Huge improvement. We also have a WSOP shop that's going to be anchored in, I want to say it's in the Paris. I walked by it, but it's sort of in between the two of them. So I'm not really sure if the property is in Paris or in the Horseshoe, but it's kind of neat that that's going to be anchored and they're 12 months out of the year instead of just the 7-8 weeks the WSOP's in town. I think it should be 12 months a year because we're poker players that come to Vegas all the time. Wouldn't you like to go to the WSOP store for some souvenirs? Hell yes. So I think that's a great improvement. I have yet to be in the GG Platinum Lounge. And I'm going to just tell you, it took me, I had to email GG to get an account to pay my $50 to get into the club. And this morning I was like, oh my God, if I went through all of that and don't even go in there once, like I need my head examined. So I have to try to go in there between now and the time I'll leave. And honestly, I'm so booked up. I'm still saying to myself, I don't even think I'm going to get in there. But I'm going to force myself for at least a tour of it. Is it better than the Poker.org lounge? I don't know. I haven't been in there yet, but we will definitely check it out. And, kudos to them for having a GG lounge for sure. So we can't forget there's a lot of positive things. The new soundstage for the Thunderdome is beautiful. So we got to give credit too. So I see Etay has joined us. How are you?
Hi, how are ya?
I'm good, thank you. Hold on. Somebody is knocking at my door. This timing could not be worse. Hold on.
Oh,
Just a
you're
moment.
fine.
Just a moment.
Hi.
Hi.
Would you like something today?
I do not want it. Thank you. Have a good day. No, they brought me some last night. Thank you, ma'am. Timing is impeccable sometimes, Etay. Oh, I'm so happy you joined us today. And you are experiencing your first space. Was it as easy as I told you it would be to get in here? Uh-oh. Are you still there?
Hello?
Hello, there you are. Was it as easy to get into this?
Am I on?
You are on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Was it as easy to get into the
Yeah.
space as I described?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually never done this. So, yeah, but I think I've seen these on here on Twitter, but yeah, it was super easy.
Perfect. I always kind of try to get some feedback so that I can improve, what I'm doing as a host when I'm inviting folks to come into a space for possibly their first time. I want to make sure I'm giving you some good information, and because it really is easy, but it kind of sounds complicated when you write it out. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so complicated, but it really isn't, right?
No, not at all. Yeah.
All right. I need to give you a proper introduction though, so bear with me.
No
I am really
problem.
happy that Esther Taylor is joining us today, for sure. Esther was adopted as a baby from a Korean orphanage by a family in Portland where she grew up. This crusher on the felt has been hired by BetMGM as an ambassador, but she has worn many hats in life, and we'll get into all of that shortly. Esther's total life earnings are over 3.3 million. On her Hendon Mob, her best life cash for 595,000 was for her 2025 third place finish in the 50K mixed game WSOP event number 66. Just to add for the listeners, Esther's first Hendon Mob entry was in 2006, so 20 years ago. And I'm pointing that out because we're going to get into the little discussion in a little bit about, some of the comments we've read. And thankfully, Barry's kind of updated us this morning that some of them were in jest, although they didn't sound like a joke to many of us, but we'll get into that shortly. So welcome, Esther, aka Etay. Glad you're joining us today.
Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it, and I am happy to be here.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, the buzz has been around it. The buzz has been around it. My co-hosts and listeners are excited to have you too. And those that are in the audience, please request a microphone if you want to come up and speak with Etay, have some comments or whatever. Isaac, I'm trying to get you up here, buddy. You may want to just request a microphone and we can get you up here. Doesn't seem to be working, but maybe if you request, the microphone will come. All right. Tell us, like I mentioned, you've been playing poker over 20 years. What got you started in poker?
1 second.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Give me 1 second. I just spilled my coffee.
Oh,
everywhere.
no. It's one of those mornings. No worries. Just don't burn yourself, for God's sakes.
Oh, that's fine. I was trying to multitask and it's not good. Okay. What got me into poker? Is that the
Yes, ma'am.
question? Yes, ma'am. I actually got into poker. I was working as a bank teller in Oregon, where I grew up. And I actually love that job. I was actually just starting to get into wealth management. I had kind of worked my way up the Wells Fargo chain, starting with teller to personal banker to private banker till they were getting my Series 7s to sell, stocks and bonds and moving into wealth management. And I actually really enjoyed that job. I ended up meeting some friends through the bank. One of those friends was Brandon Cantu. He was just getting into poker himself. He lived near me up there in the Northwest. And he said, "Hey, come to this home game with me, poker," and I was like, "Poker? Like, I don't even know her." Like, no, but like, I had no, I had no knowledge of poker whatsoever, besides kind of like, I felt like I kind of knew you can make, if you have 3 5s and 2 4s, like you have a full house. I think I learned that like through Yahtzee or something. But other than that, like no even inkling of what poker was. But yeah, he took me to a home game, and we were using dried macaroni and dried beans at the time for poker
I
chips.
love it.
That's how long ago it was. And I think I just got hooked ever since then. I was lucky enough to right away kind of get introduced into like these mixed games where I really felt like those were more for me, just the way my brain works. And so I was able to learn mixed games, specifically horse to start, for very, very cheap online when online poker was still, fully legal and all those things. I was able to
Right.
learn the mixed games at penny stakes, which is just not it's not really something you can do anymore. So I was lucky to get in at that time, and I've just kind of been going ever since then.
Well, and I'm going to say there are very few women that are mixed game specialists. And you, of course, are one of them and one of the top. And I find it fascinating that you've been playing them for so many years because you are much younger than the ladies before us that pioneered, as we say, the Linda Johnsons, the Jan Fishers of the mixed game world, the Lupe Sotos of the mixed game world. I found it
Mhm.
fascinating that you're such a killer and crusher in mixed games. I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. When I came into the space like 2000, my first recorded Hendon Mom, like you said, was in 2000. That's when I was going over to this town in Oregon called Pendleton. And at the time, it was a huge poker tournament, Pendleton Roundup, which was playing off of one of the biggest rodeos in the country is the Pendleton Roundup in Oregon. And so anyway, they would host a 2-week long series. And this is back in the day where you would have like Chip and Karina Jet there. That's where I met Gavin Smith. That's where I met a lot of the dealers that I'm still friends with today. I remember Tom McAvoy was there signing books. I could
I
name,
love it.
there was a lot of old school players. I felt like, and this is not to discredit anybody or anything, but I didn't feel like talking about this yesterday at the ladies event with some women is when I came into the space and you want to talk about few women in mix back then it was like even fewer, and
Right.
it
Right.
was probably my own, I didn't really know anybody and I didn't know where to look and where to turn to for guidance and for help and for coaching and so I kind of remember just kind of trying to navigate that on my own. And I think that's why I have such a big passion for what I'm doing is because it's like the things that you end up doing in your life later in life where you kind of look back and you're like, well, it's my turn to kind of give back and my turn to look back and help. The way you do that is you do that with the things that maybe you were lacking or the experiences that you had that you want to make better, right?
Right.
So I have always kind of had this passion of like, um, you know, I want to help those people that felt like I did coming into the space, kind of feeling lost, kind of feeling like, small fish in a big pond, and it can be overwhelming and it can be intimidating. And especially if you don't have like a good circle or a good group of people to like kind of attach yourself and learn from and so that's a big reason why I do a lot of this stuff is like I know how it felt. I know it can be an intimidating space. And I just want there to be something out there that women can feel like, hey, I know I can go to Etay's training site and I know there will probably be something on there for me. My hope is that, I've spoken with you or I've talked to you or we've had
Right.
fun at that before. And so you can get to know me and you can trust me as a, genuine and an authentic person that really my goal is to really help people. And so that's kind of my mission right now. So
Well, and you're doing a great job of it. And, you ran I'm going to call it a contest, a giveaway to give some seats away for the ladies WSOP event. And a friend of mine, Janine, was one of the winners. I know her from
yeah,
Spokane. I have
yeah.
family in Spokane. And when you're talking about Pendleton, I'm like, oh, yeah, they still have that series, but not so many of the big names go there anymore because the poker is a dollar, is everywhere. But she was very excited to win that seat and to train with you. You gave up some of your time as well to train. So, or poker coach the ladies before they went in. So tell us um, how many people got a seat and tell us what your process was for giving away a seat to the ladies event.
Okay, yeah. I try to do a little something like every year for the ladies events.
Right.
Last year I kind of put it out. I offered like, to free roll some ladies. That's a little bit different of a thing, but it's still, I'm putting Etay Poker is putting up, the buy-ins and then the ladies were playing for 25% or whatever. That's more of an opportunity to play a tournament that's bigger that you wouldn't normally necessarily be able to
Right.
play because of bankroll and stuff like that. And so I've always tried to do kind of giveaways like that, or just opportunities for women that wouldn't normally have an opportunity to play, to be able to have their shot and their chance at it, right? People have given me a
Absolutely.
chance along the way. A lot of people have, taken my hand, and pulled me up. A lot of people have had my back when I've been down, and so that's a way that I can give back a little bit. This year, I was just gonna fully give away 3 seats, pure giveaway. Take your seat at the table, do as best as you can, and then help drive people to the new website, which I thought was a perfect way to kind of get the word out that here is coming in the fall. This training site where I'm hoping to make it a little more conducive for women, a little bit more welcoming, like I talked about earlier. And I said, submit me your story. For me, it's, I love poker. Like, we love poker so much, right? But
Right.
there's like a lot of
Right.
reasons why we love poker. And outside the game itself, poker has brought in me some of my closest family members. It's brought in me some of my best friends. It's
Right.
given me the gift of being an auntie to some of my friends' kids. It's really just given me so much, and it's really because of getting to know the story and the person behind the poker player at the table. It's always been so fascinating to me. I've heard some of the most incredible stories that have literally changed my life at the poker table. And so for me, that's a big piece of this. And I had 75 submissions, stories full on. Some of these
Awesome.
stories went, yeah, some of these stories went on for a couple pages, and I read every single word. I read every single submission. I was fascinated by it. I loved to get to know these women. And ultimately, when it came to choosing, I know everybody is going to say something like this, but this is the truth. I absolutely wanted to pick everybody. Every story was equally as important to me.
Right.
But when you have 75 submissions, you kind of you just have to. It is what it is, and I had to pick, and so I ended up saying, you know what, I'm going to pick five, so five instead of three. And I try to kind of narrow it down to women that might not have an opportunity to play ever, and then
Right.
and that kind of, I resonated with their story as far as like raising a kid for, 18 years and then finally getting into poker, or like your friend who I have actually seen Janine around, but I didn't know it was her when I picked her. um,
I
she's
love it.
she's dealt yeah, she's dealt to me for over 2 decades. And so
Right. Right.
when I saw it was her, I was like, wow, I'm so happy for you. And I'm not picking off of favoritism, of course, or anything like that. So it's like I was like, I am so happy that you got this opportunity. And Janine is somebody who's been dealing to all of us for 20 years, and she's never played in the ladies
Yep.
event, which just like blows my
Yep.
mind. And the fact that she got that opportunity, and that means a lot to me. And it really, poker is a very hard space to be in mentally, emotionally. But things like this is really what keeps me grounded, and what really, it. I have the ability to survive because of like the goodness that I feel from like somebody like Janine getting to play the ladies event. Um,
And
so
it's that
yeah,
full
it's an
circle of life, isn't it? It's that full circle of life
yeah.
and giving back to what's given you so much, right?
That is absolutely correct. Yeah. And, for the most part, like there's a lot of really, really wonderful people in poker doing this. And
Right.
and it's, if we can all kind of do a little bit of a small part in the best way that we can, it doesn't always have to be financially. It's, if we can all just do a little bit, we make our industry and our space, and this is ours. Like poker is kind of our thing. But if everybody does a little bit, and steps outside themselves a little bit to help in some way. We really can shine as an industry. So
I totally agree. And it takes all of us, it takes a village. And I
yeah,
believe that we can do it together, and the poker world's big enough for everybody. It really is.
it really
Contrary to
is. That's
what the we have gatekeepers. We all have ran into gatekeepers in the world of poker, and what those gatekeepers are missing is the point that the poker world is big enough for all of us. And you do something different than I do, but we both belong, and it's good and it's great, and that's what makes poker great. And we need to celebrate all of
yeah,
it because it all matters. It all freaking matters.
yeah.
Tell us,
I a
tell us
hundred
how you got
percent
it.
agree.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go
Tell
ahead.
us how you
Yeah,
got
I'm just
into the
agreeing with you.
yeah, I know, but that's okay. No worries. Tell us how you got into the charcuterie board. Charcuterie board. I'm gonna say it wrong on purpose because we
Charcuterie.
just do silly stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
tell us how you got involved with it.
Yeah, I mean, along the past 2 decades, I've been kind of juggling, raising my daughter, still trying to keep a foot in poker. You know, it's kind of hard coming in and out like that, but like also you kind of realize like w- we got to start doing some things, implementing some things in our lives where like we're kind of giving back to the community a little bit more. And so I've just tried to do things like along the way where I'm not just, my pie chart is kind of split into all these different things. My focus is not just 100% on poker, or
Right.
like poker is a small piece of my pie, and for me, I've always loved hosting and food and creativity with that kind of stuff. And so a few years ago, specifically kind of COVID and stuff, you have a lot of downtime. And in poker, you do have some downtime, especially if you're not playing a full time schedule on the circuit and stuff. And it's like, what are we doing with that time that's productive? And that's basically why I started the charcuterie little company. Is, back when I started, my daughter was still young enough to kind of help me out with that. So she was like alongside with me of growing that business and helping me out and doing deliveries with me, and being a part of a lot of community events back home where our community is pretty tight. Um, so for me, it was a way to utilize my time in a better way. It was a way for my creative juices to kind of flow, but it was also a way to like be involved in the community, have my daughter involved in this is. You can really do anything with your life. She's seen me from the time she was born, and she's almost 17 now. She's been in and out of the poker world with me. And so she knows how crazy I am, and she knows what a crazy lifestyle I have. But one thing that she's always seen me do is kind of go, 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 go. And it's important for me to show her that yeah, I play poker. Yeah, we can start a little charcuterie business. Yeah, I can start a little training academy. You can help me with the back end of that. So yeah, that's the kind of driving
Love it.
force behind
And I'm
that,
going to tell you,
that kind of stuff.
people were so excited when you started that business. They were like, yes, some good quality snacks we can get
Yeah.
delivered to us. And I remember the whole thing kicking off, and
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I love, who doesn't like a good board? But,
Yeah.
it was,
It's a very needed thing in
yeah,
poker, so it's, and so, I've kind of handed the reins off to, a business owner that, I'm kind of helping mentor, which is, her name's Penelope. And we started a new kind of little company for delivery, for poker players called Penelope's Pit Stop. So we kind of merged the charcuterie
nice.
company, and she's like a 5-star chef. She's worked with like, she's incredible, and I saw her talent and potential immediately when I met her last year at a CSOP.
Oh, you're cutting out, Etay. She may have gotten a phone call. Are you there? Hello, Etay. Can you hear me?
And so,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. You were cut
Oh,
out
can you
of
hear me?
walking around or not. Um, Yeah, now we can. But I'm going to tell you, I talked about that business early on in the WSOP. I ran across her. I don't know if I ran across her on TikTok or on Twitter, but I did kind of promote that business at the beginning of our summer coverage.
Oh,
Everybody's been
nice.
raving
Thank
about what
you.
she's delivering. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's been raving and giving good reviews about what she's delivering for folks to chomp on. So kudos.
Incredible. It's incredible, incredible food and affordable. Actually trying to promote our business and point it if you at the table.
Love it. Love it. Okay, you're cutting in and out. Etay, you're kind of cutting in and out. I don't know if you can get closer to maybe your router or and that'll
Okay, yeah.
help us. Yep, no problem. No problem. I just don't want anybody to miss a thing you're saying to us. For sure. All it takes is a spark of an idea, people, and you're on your way to delivering cheese boards. Love it. Love the initiative. Isaac, how you doing, pal? She must have got a phone call. How
Not
you
too
doing,
bad. Not too
Isaac?
bad. Not too bad. It was just great listening. A friend of mine actually is one of her winners. Um, for the people who she has in the ladies event. She's
Yeah,
stayed
yeah,
in
yeah.
TVG and everything. She goes by Blonde Genius, but her name is Nicole White.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
and she bagged to day 2, which is really dope.
Let's go, Nicole. And I'm going to tell you that Janine, who sat at your table for the meetup game, she was another one of the winners.
That's so great.
So
That's so
I
great.
love it. I love it. Very cool. Very cool. Doing great things.
Yep, that's for
Oh,
sure. That's for
her.
sure. Really dope what she's doing.
Hell yeah. Yeah, there you are. No problem. This is something that happens in spaces all the time. So don't worry about it.
Can you hear me? I don't know if I'm being heard or not.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh,
Hello?
yes, I can hear. I would yeah, okay, I can hear you now.
Perfect. Yeah, this is not unusual for Twitter spaces. We just have glitches here that we just go out and come back in, and it usually solves the problem or get near a router, Wi-Fi, whatever. So no worries. Tell us if there were one thing in the poker world you could change, what would that be?
Oh gosh. I'm rarely stumped on answering these questions, but that's a hard one. I guess I'll go with what's currently this is I don't know if this is the number one thing, but this is what comes off the top of my head is uh the insanity that the reentry is getting to is kind of in my mind turning poker tournaments into a little bit of a mockery. um and you will actually rarely, that's why I struggle to like say things like this, because I'm not somebody who comes onto these things and complains.
Right.
I really don't have much to complain about really in general, so I try to not do that. So this is more of just like kind of some critical feedback is, it in my opinion, it's getting a little bit out of hand. Now, if we talk about like the players championship even, and this is halfway through the summer where we've already experienced like, wow, registration is open,
Right.
2 hours into day 2 in these 25Ks and 10Ks and stuff. And then we fast forward to the most prestigious tournament in the world, in my opinion. Where you kind of just it's you kind of just have to leave it alone. But here now all of a sudden we have where you had the ability to register the 50K PPC with 300 minutes into day 2.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how to describe how absurd that is, and it's a freeze out. And so it's just like come on, man. Like most prestigious 9-game tournament. Like why are we turning it into, well, yeah, you have 300 minutes on day 2 to register when nearly half the field is gone in a freeze out. It's just, it's crazy to
Okay,
me.
so I'm going to interject for a minute and let you know that we've been talking about this topic in my spaces since the spring of 2025. Because I, as well, and believe me, I don't play the stakes that you do or many do, but I think it's gotten out of control. And the conversation kind of got started when Cody went down to Biloxi and rebought into a tournament 36 times into a $400 entry tournament. Was kind of where this conversation started in my spaces. And so through the year and a half, I've been asking my guests if we came to you, Esther, and said, we want your opinion. What is the magical number of entries, re-entries you would want? What's the limit for you? What number is it for you? Is it 5? Is it 10? Like, what should the limit of rebuys be per flight?
Um, well, first of all, I want to just kind of correct you just for a second. It doesn't matter if you and I are playing a 50K buy-in or if you and I are playing a $500 buy-in. Like, don't, like, you should not be discredited just because, you know, oh, I don't play as high as stakes or I'm not at this level. No, like my big thing with poker is everyone's experience is as equally as important, no matter if you're playing a $200 tournament or a $200,000 tournament. Like your input and your opinion on what should happen and your experience is just as important.
And
So,
I totally
like,
agree with you. Yeah.
please don't ever
Well,
forget
and
that.
I
Like, you
totally
know,
agree. And my audience members will tell you that I totally agree and say the exact same thing that you normally do. I mean, that you
yeah,
just did. And the reason I said it this time is because there seems to be an operator or two that have made comments in my spaces or in tweets that, you know, quote the high rollers and what they want. And I, like you, say that it matters to all of us. Like the number, the
it
magic, yeah,
absolutely
the
does.
magical number, you know, that $400 tournament was possibly ruined by having someone at that table rebuying, because a lot of the
Yeah,
times he wasn't even moved to another table and he got to buy 4 or 5, 6
yeah,
times at that same table. And so that, you know,
right.
so it is affecting everyone at that table, and that's a $400 buy-in. And so I totally agree. And yeah, I'm on the same page with that. Thank you though for, you know, saying that.
Yeah, and I'm not, you know, trying to like, you know, wag my
No,
finger
no,
at
no, I
you,
didn't take it that way at all.
you
No,
know,
I
but
didn't take.
it's more just like, you know, you want to tell. Yes, it's a lot of money when you're playing at a high, you know, high level, high roller type of level, but it's not the high roller. It's not the 50Ks and the 100Ks that are making all the money for these operators. It's actually the smaller
That's right.
tournaments. So like the experience is as equally as important. And to loop back to your original question, what is the maximum amount that should be allowed? I don't really have a number. When you talk about reentries and the ability to reenter on an overall scope of things, it is still basically an even playing field when you talk about we all have the ability to buy in 25 times,
Right.
right? Like if we're talking about the ability now financially, do we all have the ability to buy in 25 times? Absolutely not. Right? So, but when you talk about the playing field and is it equal and fair to everybody? Well, from a competitive standpoint, yes. From a financial standpoint, no. And is that kind of diluting the field of players that are like, well, I can afford a 400, AKA a 1200 if I buy in 3 times, but I definitely can't afford a 400, AKA
Right.
8,000,
Right.
right? And so does that dilute the player pool now a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. You're shunning people away because they've gone from, well, if I want to be at an equal playing field on a skill level, I have to be able to buy in as many times as the person with the most reentries is able to buy into. Does that
Yep,
make sense?
absolutely.
And yeah, so like I don't really know what the answer is. I think over the years, while we've kind of been the guinea pigs for these reentries and like we've played in ones that are unlimited, we played in ones that are one reentry per flight, we've played in freeze outs, we played in one that are two reentry per flight. I think from an overall just averaging out perspective, I definitely don't think it should ever be more than two reentries. And especially in, I'm really praying that they don't mess with the main event. I feel like that's vulnerable now,
Yes,
especially with
I
them
agree.
even changing it to day two starting days. They're already starting to mess with it. I don't know. We don't really have much say or control. So
Well, and I agree with you. And I totally think there should be a limit as to the rebuys. I'm not sure what that magical number is, but I think we as a community need to figure out what that magical number is. It could be six, it could be two, it could be, I don't know. But it can't, in my opinion, it should not be more than 10. Um, honestly, but I feel like we need to address it as a community and say, look, this is out of control. And for everybody's sake, we need to have, some common ground and come up with a game plan that, 36 is not what we really want to see happening.
yeah, exactly. And you know what? And I want to clarify, like I it is something to kind of be like looking at all these people firing like 10, 15 bullets and you're just there grinding and trying to squeak out the edge that you have in the tournament, and you have to battle somebody with unlimited firing power. It's not a good feeling, and I know it as a poker player. I think 99% of poker players know and feel that. And I just don't know what the right answer
Right.
is, because every year we have a majority of the player pool complaining, yet every year everyone just shows up and still plays. So
And I
it's not
agree.
it's not really preventing anyone from
Right.
playing, you
And
know
I
what I mean?
totally
We all just have
agree.
to,
I totally agree with that. But
yeah,
I think the conversation over the last 12 or 18 months is becoming more authentic on the topic. And
right.
I am zoning in on that or zooming in on that because I think that change will come as long as those conversations continue. And that's why I keep asking the question, because I ask that question of every level player that I interview, because I want to
Yeah.
hear it from every level player, the rec player, the big roller, the smaller, the rec, whatever, the pro, the non-pro, whatever. I want to know their opinion because they're sitting at that felt with their belly in, just like I am. So
Right.
all the opinions matter because everybody's money is going into that coffer, right? So, all right, moving on. Is it true that you've
Yeah.
never studied poker?
I've never studied poker. I don't recommend that.
I don't know. I think I do, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't recommend that. I yeah, I've never it's actually, when I think about it, it's like, how did I even learn? I don't really know. But yeah, I mean, I'm just somebody who I really just kind of go off my intuition and gut all the time. It's cost me in big spots, big high equity
Oh,
spots. It's saved me in big high equity spots. But I'm kind of to the point where it's like, have I thought about studying specifically for no limit tournaments and things like that? Absolutely. Obviously, you see
right.
the best players are very well studied. But, and maybe that time will come. It's not something that I'm like, oh, you have to be a studied player or a field player. No, I think there's a magical world where like a hybrid of both is a beautiful thing. And so it's not like I'm totally anti against it.
Correct.
I just,
It doesn't
I
work for
haven't like,
you. I mean,
yeah, and I haven't stepped into that yet. And I don't know if I ever will, but so far never read a book, no studying, never looked at a chart. Um yeah.
Well, and
So
I'm going to tell you that I admit it. I admire your honesty about it because for me, it is all about seat time. I think seat time is the best lesson and investment and you can make in yourself in your world of poker. The more you play live or online, the better you're going to get. You're going to live through those experiences that they're trying to teach you in a book and you're going to learn it firsthand. And for me, learning it by living it always sticks in my brain better than reading it in a book.
yeah,
And so that practical experience, I think, is very important. And I think that's what you're referencing, of course.
oh, for sure. Yeah,
And
definitely.
so let me say to you that I really appreciate your points of view. Is it true? This is another question. Is it true that you folded a winning hand to a guy because he was losing his shirt?
Uh, yeah, it is.
I love
I'm
that.
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say it, but yeah, I've told this story a lot, and it's mainly because of, it's okay. I've made way worse mistakes than that in poker. Okay. But I think it's okay to prove that, we're human
That's
beings, we
right.
make mistakes. But specifically for women, we get in these spots where, um, I think like we're pleasers too, and so like when in this situation, this was many years ago. Obviously I would never do this today, but this was like when I was just kind of starting to get back in poker, and this guy was losing every hand. He was just buried in this cash game, and he finally was going to win a hand, and he had like kings up and stud, and I thought I only had aces. And so I was like, "You're good." I said, "You're good," like out loud. And then I looked back, which you're allowed to do, and realized I had aces up, right? But I had already said, "You're
Right.
good." And the guy was already like so angry and so upset. And I just like in the moment, I was just like, it's not even worth it, you
Well,
know? So I just like,
I'm gonna say to you, there's nothing wrong with having a heart when you're playing poker. And you had, a heart for a guy that was just having a bad night at the table. And I'm gonna tell you, I would never fault you for that.
yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like I do have a heart. I think women in general we're a little bit more empathetic.
Right.
We obviously are driven by emotions a little bit more. That's just the reality of it. I'm not somebody who's like, no, men and women are exactly equal. We both act exactly the same. Like we both have the same exact
Yeah.
perspectives and experience on things. No, like we're very different beings. Like, and and it was just like, yeah, I've worked on being a little bit more like, because what's going to happen is like you're not going to receive that kind of treatment in return that often.
Right.
Most often what's going to happen is you're going to get taken advantage in that spot, right? Like, do you
Right.
think how many men could you name that are going to give you the money in that spot? I could name like almost zero,
I
right? which
agree.
is not which is not incorrect. That's the correct thing. It's poker,
Right.
but yeah, I think there's a line between, we're playing poker, it's a game. I want to be respected as the table. I don't want anyone taking it easy on me. I want to be respected as just, an equal seat at the table. And but at the end of the day, yeah, women are going to be a little bit more empathetic, a little bit more emotional on the decisions that we make.
100%.
But I'm always going to still be a human being, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm not a robot at the table. Everyone knows that about me. There are moments where I take being in the zone very seriously, but I'm I'm a human being first, and we're all humans, and we all leave the table and have normal and huge lives, And so if that leaks out sometimes and that costs me money sometimes, I'm 100% okay with that.
As you should be. There is no shame in that. I'm
Yeah.
all about it. And guess what? That's going to come back to two and threefold, in my opinion. Those great deeds never pay off in the long run for whatever. Just feeling proud of yourself, or
Yeah.
it just comes back to you in another way through karma in a positive way. So,
And it has come back to
there
me,
you go.
along my life, and that's why I am happy to pass that along and to give back as well. So, I have gotten a lot of breaks in my life, and I have already received like good karma,
Absolutely.
so
And I'm just going to say
yeah.
one other thing about you not being a studier. Don't start now because you'll screw yourself up. I mean, you're doing so
Actually, a
damn
few
good.
people have said that to me.
Don't
Yeah,
do it.
that's funny. Yeah, a few people have said that to me because the adjustment is so big, right? And
Right.
like now it's like learning a new language
Like,
with
why?
anything.
There's
So,
no reason. I mean, if you were
yeah,
having like say 5 years from now, you're like, okay, I can't win a hand of poker. Everybody's whatever, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah. Okay, that's different. But you're on the on the high road. Yeah. Like, don't screw yourself up.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
I love
Yeah,
it.
for
I
sure.
love it. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about your missing win trophy because I remember when this
Oh,
story
yeah.
hit the public too. Okay, first of all, tell my audience um, what happened to cause, or what do you think happened to cause your championship win trophy to disappear, please?
Uh, I don't know. It's kind of a mystery because I assume it was taken during my move back in PA. I moved houses, and I actually had movers come in while I was at the World Series last year, pack up my house and pack everything up and get ready to move it all to a new
Right.
location. Um, I have tons of valuables in my house. I
Sure.
have trophies. I have tons of stuff. So to only take the one win trophy, it just was weird. And maybe there's other things that were taken, I'm not sure. And I don't know if I would have even really realized it. A lot of my stuff is still in boxes in my new home in the basement.
Right.
And so I don't even know if I would have really realized it, had it not been for Chad Holloway bringing it to my attention that he found my trophy on eBay
Crazy.
and contacted me and was like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need some financial assistance? Like, why are you selling your trophy on eBay?" And I was just like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I obviously had no clue. And so him and I did some research together. We contacted the seller. The seller came up with all these different stories. It's very obvious that somebody had sold it at a pawn shop or something like that.
Right.
And really the mystery is like still unknown. They wanted me to file a police report and all this stuff, and I'm just not somebody who's going to take the time to do all that. And so I guess they can have it. I actually
Crazy.
sent him a very nice message saying, "Listen, I'm a good person, or I try to be a
Right.
good person. Like, could you just find it in your heart just to give it back to me, and like no questions asked? Like, just put it in the mail. I'll send you the money to like ship it." Like, well, and he didn't respond. And so that was kind of my last
Crazy.
ditch effort, like from a human level, to try to get him to return it to me. But it's gone. And
Like, what kind of piece of shit, in plain English, is going to try to eBay sell somebody's
I
trophy, get
know,
busted, and not return it? Like, what a
I
piece.
know. I know.
Wow.
And it's just like, it's actually like, can we just all feel sad for that person?
Yeah.
Like, because like what a crazy existence, but it's whatever. I've kind of just washed my hands of it. And I think it's still sitting there on eBay, and like the price keeps lowering. So, I've had multiple people say to me
Unbelievable.
like multiple people have said, "I'll just get it back. I'll buy it back from the guy." And I said, "Absolutely do not do that.
Right.
That would be like the worst thing to
Right.
do. It's not, it's just, it's a piece of property, like I won the tournament. I feel great about the win. Like, I don't need the actual trophy, but buying it from him would be like, in my opinion, the worst thing to do.
Absolutely
So,
agree with that.
yeah, so
Absolutely.
maybe it'll get down to 100 and he'll realize he can't sell it, and like maybe I'll do one last ditch effort, like, "Hey, okay, can I have it back now?"
Well, and what will make you forget about that trophy forever is that bracelet win, honey.
I know. And it's that's what I'm always going to try for. And it's such a hard journey,
Of
and
course.
I've had many, many great chances at it. Some of those chances I've squandered, some of the chances I've taken all the way to the maximum point where I think that I could have. I have every spot at the World Series, second through all the way up, basically. And there's no doubt in my mind that I'll keep trying to get the first spot. If it happens, wonderful. I live through the success of my friends too. I'm surrounded by extraordinary poker players, and when they win, I feel like a little bit of me wins too, and so I'm not lacking for that. But yeah, I'm going to spend the next at least 10 years trying to finally break through
Well, and I'm
that
just going to tell you, you're
first
doing a
place.
great job. And I'm just going to tell you, if you don't study poker, I'm sure you're going to meet that goal sooner than later. So don't fuck it up. Now, I'm going to go to recent events. You were named ambassador for BetMGM, like I mentioned earlier, and congratulations on
Yeah,
that. You have certainly earned
thank
it.
you.
And
Thank you. I
unfortunately,
appreciate
you
that.
bet. And unfortunately, there have been some comments on Twitter that's gotten some of the rest of us in a tizzy. And
Yeah.
so we want to set the record straight. If there's one reason I'm called the sheriff in spaces, it's because I always want to make sure the record is correct and we get the correct information and the truth out there. And I think that this may be one of those cases that somebody may have been joking around, may not have been joking around. So of course I'm referring to Cantoon and Jaffe. So they were
Yeah.
referring to the fact that you were a DEI appointment as an ambassador, that you didn't deserve it. I mean, that's what they were implying. So go ahead and set the record straight about these two bozos, please.
Two bozos, yeah. Well, those two bozos, the first bozo, Jared Jaffe, who's already what I hear hated amongst the some of these women groups, because he's always saying some stupid shit
Right.
about women and poker and blah blah. For the most part, and when I say these things, I am not in any way defending these idiots. I am somebody who grew up with two brothers. I'm a huge tomboy. I bust balls with the best of them. Like, the guys think it's so funny actually how tomboy I am, and they know that, I dish it out so I can very, very easily take it.
Right.
In their minds, when they're responding to something like this, they know it's very they know the reaction that they're gonna
Right.
get. They know that a guy like Jaffe and I are pretty polarizing characters in the poker space, and so he actually got off pretty easy because I kind of responded very quickly, like, it's clearly a joke. Jared and I are clearly very good friends. I bust his balls just as much as he busts mine,
Right.
and I can take it. What they don't realize is kind of like the bystanders and the hitchhikers that come on and are like, wait a second, don't pick on our Etay, which I actually find really comforting
Right.
that like so many people
Right.
come to my defense. So that's that. I think Jared, for the most part, it's like 90% humor. Now, is he out of line in some things? Of course. I don't personally take it personal, but I can see how it comes across like that. As far as Cantu goes, I will say this, him and I kind of discussed, like, he's like, oh, I have all these hilarious responses to your announcement and all this. And we were kind of actually talking about it. And he's like, are you going to be offended if I say something like this or that about it? And I said, Brandon, you've known me for 20 years. I'm obviously not going to be offended. I'm going to laugh and giggle like I always do. But you have to understand that you and I are very different characters in the poker world, and you're going to take a lot of heat. And he knew that. And we knew that. And so when he tweeted it, I obviously am giggling myself, but people don't know the dynamic of our relationship. And so it kind of just sat there for a little bit. And I was like, oh, thank God. But then once it starts gaining traction, and again, I was actually so like I don't know what I felt. I felt comforted and like honored that people were just coming to my defense, and like I didn't even have to say anything, you know. It was just like it
People were,
kind of just
people were standing up for what was right and what those words
yeah,
were not right. And
yeah.
nobody
And I
knows
think
that
he
personal
knew.
relationship or that, that dialogue between the two of you. And we're like, wait, you're like stealing her thunder. Like everybody should be celebrating. She's been named and rightfully so, so deserving and earned. Like, why are you shitting on her success right now?
Yeah, and that's what how most of the Twitter, space
Right,
took it,
right.
and rightfully so. But in a moment of like, Brandon is a friend of mine. He
Sure.
was making a terrible joke
Right,
at the time, using terrible trigger words, obviously rage bait trigger words
of
that
course.
he knew, you know. Um, but at the end of the day, it kind of actually backfired, and actually like it actually helped me, like
Yeah,
it, in a way, like, people were just like running into my defense, and like, again, it was like, and I'm not somebody that's going to go on there and be like, oh, well, this is why I deserve this. And this is what, and like try to like defend myself necessarily. And so it was actually really, I really took it to heart that like people that like I've just known for so long, that I really love and respect so much in the game, kind of came to my defense. And I really didn't have to say much. To the point where last night I went on there and kind of cleared the air a little bit,
right.
just because, Brandon was taking 99.9% massive heat. And I was just saying like what an idiot he is,
Right.
and whatever. But at the end of the day, Brandon and I are friends, and I don't control and or condone
Sure.
what he's doing with his words and the way he handles things. We're obviously separate in that regard, but it was it was meant to be a joke. It ended up going into this viral insanity, which kind of worked in both ways. So yeah, I'm
Well,
here to just say,
and let's face it, that's exactly what he wanted out of it, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
he faced the music he deserved to. I mean, nobody feels sorry for him
yeah.
for facing the music, for being a
Yeah. I
jackass
don't even think
and
he feels
finding,
sorry
yeah,
for him,
I
to
mean,
be
he got
honest.
he
But
got the clicks he wanted. He got the clicks
yeah,
he wanted, right?
and I'll just say, to be fair, I've always understood that, um, I'm in a position in poker where I'm open. I'm open to criticism, right?
Right.
I'm open to people saying to me all the time, like, why did you play your hand like this, or why did you this and that, and I accept that. I was talking with somebody earlier today, like, I accept that not everyone's going to agree with me on everything, on how I do things or how I play hands, and I people are going to criticize me, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
I'm okay with, I know that I'm in a position where it opens myself up to that, and I welcome that. I'm not somebody who makes perfect decisions. I am somebody who's willing to learn and get better. And so when people have criticisms, or they have something to say, I think that is totally okay, whether I agree with it or not.
Absolutely.
What I go to, just a little bit of the next level, is like, we just don't have to be like super nasty about it. Like,
Yes.
you can disagree with me on things, or you can have your opinions about me, and I am totally okay with that, whether it hurts my feelings or not.
Right.
I just ask that, like, it's very easy to sit here and type these words out, but at the end of the day, we go home still, and we're still human beings, no
That's
matter
right.
like what opinion you have of us or our character or whatever. So while you're in these comments, and while you're disagreeing with me, or with any, or Cantu or Jaffe, or whoever these other villains are, or maybe people that you look at as heroes, like, the difference of opinions and the things that you want to criticize or have feedback on, those are totally okay, and I'm open for. I'm just like asking, like, do we have to take it to the level of just being completely nasty? You know,
I
like,
agree.
can we just have these
Adult,
differences of
can we have adult
opinions?
adult
Correct.
conversations, please?
Correct.
Adult conversations.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Because I read these things and I'm a pretty tough person, man. Like I have, you can pretty much say anything to me. But
Right.
again, at the end of the day, like some of these things that I read, I'm a human being. Of course they hurt my feelings,
Right.
like it's
Absolutely.
it's not easy to deal with. And again, you absolutely have a right to your own opinion and to say things and to make comments and to criticize me. I welcome that, but I just wish we don't have to bring it to the level of ultimate, like,
100%.
nastiness. So
100%. And those
I'm done
keyboard
with my rant there.
Well, and
Sorry.
no, I appreciate it because those keyboard warriors would never say that shit to your face. And that's what I tell people. I'm like, if you can't say that to me in person to my face, then
Yeah.
don't be the little whoosh you are on the keyboard because you're only
Yeah.
doing it because you're not face to face with me because you would never have the guts to say that to a person face to face. And you could
Yeah.
always, we are in America, you can always express your opinion. You don't have to get nasty and make it personal. So many times you'll post something and somebody's like, "Oh, you're such a stupid bitch." Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, okay, you
Yeah.
disagree with what I've posted. That's not a problem. Tell me why. Like, I'll
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
that dialogue with you. Tell me why. Okay, this is a stupid comment because blah, blah, blah. Or I don't believe
Right.
this comment is accurate because of blah, blah, blah. I have no problem with that. But the moment you call someone a name, I stop listening. Like you're no
Right.
longer somebody I'm gonna, value an opinion from until you can have an adult conversation, people. So yeah, I'll get off the
Yeah.
soapbox too. I see ASG has his hand up. Go ahead, ASG. Please meet Etay.
Hi, Etay. So I'm here
Hi.
for the drama questions. So,
Yes,
uh,
he
Okay.
uh,
is.
did you watch any of the coverage after you played the PPC last year? And did you have any opinions on Jared Blesnick's commentary? Because it wasn't too flattering, in my opinion, about you last year.
Yeah, I watched in and out of like I've seen probably the majority of it. I haven't sat and watched it straight through. I actually like hate watching myself. I don't know. Like I just it's not something that I would make time to just sit there and watch through for like hours just watching myself. But I've definitely seen clips. I have heard all of it from what Jared was saying. Yeah, I mean, it- like I think Jared and I are very good friends, by the way. I kind of had a conversation with him after the PPC last year where we were just sitting around having drinks, and I'm somebody that's pretty real, so I just kind of like said to him, like, Jared, like I thought we were friends. Like you can think that I'm bad at poker or played a hand bad, but like, did you have to do that when my like friends and family are watching that have no idea what anything means or anything is, and like all they're hearing is like negative talk from somebody who's supposed to be like a friend and colleague of mine. And when I said it in that way versus just like crossing my arms and pouting and being the quintessential woman and being like, you hurt my feelings. Like I could see like the inner workings of his brain working a little bit better. And, I was like, yeah, like my dad's watching, my aunt, uncle, like my people that don't even know what a raise means, and when you say my play is abysmal, like that's all they're hearing, and I was like, just think about that, and we had a relatively adult discussion about it. And, at the end of that discussion, he gave me a hug and he's like, I'm always rooting for you. When he gets in the box sometimes or the booth, he kind of has like Tourette's of the mouth. Like he just, the like the thoughts that come to his brain he says out loud. I mean, I was watching the 50K coverage last night and I think he used the same sentence, like, this is abysmal, which
Well, and you
I
know what
just
I'm
I
thinking?
don't think we have to take it to that level. Like,
I'm going to tell you that as I listen to you talk about having a conversation and trying to get him to realize the errors of his ways because your family and friends are watching. I think back to the last 10 days, those words fell on deaf ears, okay, because he is doing exactly that again this year. And it's disgusting, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last night was the first coverage that I really like sat and watched. So yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah, I have the opinion of, I've done commentating and stuff. I've been in the booth. I think like there's just a natural thought in your head as somebody who is in control of what the public is hearing. There's just like a decency of like, there's not really a time where I'm talking about somebody's play, right? Like,
Right.
I don't have an opinion on whether they've played that hand correctly or not. For me, it's just more like, I'm commentating along. I'm there for like, making it a little bit lighter. Like if we talk strategy about the hand, it's not directly towards a specific player.
Right.
I think there's like an unspoken common courtesy with that. I think when you talk about a guy like Jared Blesnick or any polarizing figure that you're going to put in the booth, they know that kind of stuff is going to happen and they're still putting him in the booth. So now what do we do as,
Yep.
fans and people that are watching and people that are part of the community? Like what say do we have in that, right? Like they know everything we know and they're still making the decision of putting him in the booth to
I
commentate
agree.
on these really profile tournaments. And yeah, I mean, I think Jerry does a really good job in general. I think he's entertaining. I think could he work on not being so derogatory and making it personal towards players? Absolutely.
Well, and insulting the audience never goes very far. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Anytime he's in the booth, I won't be watching. And if you feel the same way I do, then you would turn it off too when he's in the booth, because guess what? I don't want to even bring up his name anymore in this space. So, Joey, I'm going to give you the last word on that because I know you're hot under the collar after last night's coverage. So, Joey, I'm going to give you the last words on that topic and we're going to move on to something else. Go
No,
ahead, buddy.
I already said my piece. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And did you have any other questions or comments for Etay?
Actually, I do. Something that I think a lot of
Perfect.
listeners would be interested in. So, Ite, it seems like no matter where I go in the country, you're there, like Borgata, Florida. And you do an excellent job of adjusting to the different fields in the different geographic places. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, first of all. I think that correlates directly back to like me being a field player. Um, I have spent so much time playing poker in the Northeast, and I've spent so much time playing poker in South Florida and Vegas and all these different locations that, yeah, I kind of have a feel for like how to navigate certain fields and certain locations. I think it's just a comfort thing. I think when I go to Borgata, it's like I'm literally driving to my backyard. I know most of the characters that I'm sitting down with. I've played with them at some point over 2 decades. And so for me, I think it's more of just being like comfortable and making these adjustments because it's actually really intuitive for you to even point that out, saying like, I've seen you play in these different locations and like you maybe don't play the same way at the Borgata that you do in these massive WSOP fields, where I kind of shrink down to like, there's people that I play with every day at the World Series that have never even seen me or never even heard of my name. And then you make the adjustments accordingly. So I think it's just because I have more of an intuitive based like poker game, I think that helps me with adjusting to, and I even went to Talking Stick for the first time for an MSPT tournament that I've never played an MSPT, and even that was a different vibe with like 3,500 players coming to play a 1K there. So yeah, it's I think I can naturally kind of navigate intuitively based on where I'm at and the experience that I've had in the location or the field size of quality of players.
Love that
That's
answer. Love that question. Thank you, Joey.
yeah.
Did you have
Thank
anything else?
you.
But
No, that was great. Thank you, Etay.
Thank you.
love that. Um, do you play much poker outside of the United States?
Um, so I went to Prague this year for WSOP. That was my first, basically my first um overseas quote unquote trip. I think I flew to Barcelona like 10 years ago to play in like one tournament, but
Okay.
this was my first real overseas trip where I had planned to play an entire series. Um and the reason for that mainly is because of me being a mom. I've been able to travel around the country because I can kind of get to places within 3 or 4 days and get back
Right,
home. I've never really made the trek overseas because that's like a 2 week commitment, you
right,
know. Now my daughter is, almost 17. She's driving, she has a car, she has a big life, she's very busy. She's kind of doing her own thing, which has opened up time for me to really transition more into a more full-time type of schedule. Um, and so I am planning on expanding to play more overseas,
awesome.
specifically APTs, EPTs, WSOP Europe.
I'm just
Um,
going to suggest going to Malta. Um,
yeah,
I'm just going to suggest to put that on your list. Uh,
yeah.
that is
I
a
also
stop.
I also feel like I'm in, this transitioning stage where, I am transitioning into quote unquote like empty nester
Right,
and like what am I gonna do with my time? And it's an interesting time for me, where, I even said like I feel like it's been such a long journey in and out of poker, but I also feel like I'm just getting started.
right,
And it kind of comes at a time where like I would be looking at traveling more anyways, just in my personal life, right? Like
right,
and so to be able to combine those two things, get my kid off to college. My kid is so extraordinary. I'm not even worried about her 1 second, but
right,
I still want to be around for that. But really just opening myself up to this new phase in my life where I transition out of, going to softball games and coaching volleyball and
right,
coaching her dance teams to, more focus on poker full time, more focus on, the academy that I want to do, and definitely some more traveling. So I'm looking forward to it. I feel like this is kind of a turning point in my career. Super grateful just to even be here and for the opportunity of it. So I'm
love it,
excited. I'm
love
excited
it.
for what's to come. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start with one thing. Dusty down there and our listeners came up earlier and asked us for some recommendations. He's going over to Asia in July to play some poker.
Uh,
Is there any advice you would give him for that international travel and arrival, so forth, playing
yeah.
overseas?
Well, I had to learn it. I think it's anything like through my own trial and error. So,
Right,
when I booked to Europe, I what again, I'm still like on a time constraint because obviously like I do need to get back to things with my home life and my daughter and stuff. So even with that, I still pretty much scrunched it into the shortest amount of time as possible. So like I took this long flight over, I got off of the plane and I like walked into the Hilton in Prague to start playing poker, like zero adjustment whatsoever. And then I was kind of like way behind from the very beginning, for 12 straight days of just exhaustion, no sleep, completely jet lagged, totally like, totally affected the way that I played, my game, my focus. So if I could just give the number one recommendation would be like you have to allow yourself time physically to adjust,
Right.
Because if you don't do that, you might as well not go, because the detriment of not doing that and the toll that it took on my body and physically was it wasn't I wasn't at my peak performance.
And it's
And
sort of like a domino effect. Like it doesn't correct, like self-correct as time goes on. It gets worse.
yeah, right, exactly. So
Okay. Thank you for that. Barry, go ahead, buddy. Meet
I
Etay.
think ASG was first.
Oh, I didn't see his hand. Sorry. Go ahead anyway. Sorry, SG.
hey Barry,
Hi, ET.
long time,
Yeah, we go way back. We've
way
our
back, Borgata.
paths crossed many. I was just in January sweating you when you won the horse tournament. You know,
Oh yeah,
I
nice.
was running
Yeah.
back and forth between the tournament I was in and saying, "How come she can't finish them off so yet? What's taking so long?"
I know that was a grind.
Yeah,
That was a real
and
grind. Yeah.
plus we also just played in day 2B of the Big O.
Oh no. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They moved me
Nice.
to your table. I had less than a big blind. I'm
Yeah.
screaming to the floor guy, "How come I can't get help with my chips?" And I had like one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had one chip,
Oh, that's great.
Barry.
and I look
That's
over.
great.
It's you and Chino Reem with mountains and mountains and mountains of chips. I'm like, this is not
Uh,
gonna end well. Yeah, I'm also
okay.
one of those dusty, crusty, mixed game shit rags that travel between the Borgata and the Seminole Hard Rock. So, just wanted to
Yeah.
congratulate you on the MGM sponsorship. Well deserved,
Oh, thank
despite what many
you.
people say.
Thank you. I appreciate
And
that.
I'm looking forward to seeing you back at the Borgata in a few weeks. No,
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll be there for pretty much the whole series in September. So I will definitely see you.
are you going in July?
Probably not. I tend to go see my family on the West Coast right after the World Series for a while. I kind of decompress out there. My daughter has her national tournament in California as well. So I usually kind of take until the series at Borgata in September. I kind of take that time off. Coming off of the World Series, it's such a grind. And so I take that month of August, the rest of July and August off, and then kind of restart the year of poker, quote unquote, beginning of September.
Yeah, they've been trying hard, Kelly and them, but the
Yeah,
mixed games, it's the same 30, 40 people, and
I
that's all
know.
they ever
I
get.
know.
And I mean,
Yeah, and I'm here to help with that, and I'll get with you on the side to get some more feedback and your input with that, because that is specifically what I'm there to help for, and I've gotten some feedback from some of you guys, but I obviously I'm an open book. You can come up and talk to me anytime. I would love to hear your thoughts on how we can improve that area. There's much improvement to be made, and it's coming. I can promise you that.
yeah, absolutely. Definitely looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I think one of our earliest interactions, I came up to you and in not so many words told you, "Don't lose your day job." And I was referring to a tweet that you put out that you were going to be Alan Kessler's life coach.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And the
Okay.
minute you hit send, he's on his tippy toes, screaming across the table at like three people that
Yeah.
practically never played before. And I
Yeah.
said, "Yo, you're doing a bad job. I think you should,
Yeah.
should pick up
Exactly.
another line of work." It was hilarious.
Yo, Barry, I've been working on him for years. He's never gonna change ever.
Definitely not.
That's why we love him here in Spaces.
Yeah, exactly. He is who he is. He just cannot help himself.
And just remember, you're the one who asked for Barry's input. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, and I accept it. I love it.
We love Barry. I consider him a friend for sure. Barry, did you have any other questions or comments, buddy?
Nah, that's it. Good. Oh yeah. Are you running your series at the Borgata anytime soon?
I am September, so the big series will be back. It won't. We've adjusted the price points to be a little bit more reasonable, but yeah, we're working on that right now. So hoping to have some decent mixed games in there for you guys. But we're kind of working and eking out that schedule right now. If you have any suggestions, Barry, just message me and I can send it up to. There's not much in my control, but there is always suggestion box for me is always open. So it's a free roll to tell me things that can help out, and I'll send it along, and I'll see what we can do about it.
Yeah, I'm usually loud. I usually have an opinion about everything. So I'm
It's
always the one
good.
screaming, why do they still let me in here? I think I was one of the first guys to win multiple mixed game trophies in a series. I probably have like 4 Borgata mixed game trophies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I've
Barry's a
been
Borgata
around.
legend.
Yes, he is.
Borgata legend. I love it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No, he's great. He's
Allegedly.
great.
He's been hanging out with us for a few years, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Go ahead, ASG, bud.
Okay. Yeah. As long as we're trying to attempt to, get the Piolo back to the weekend. But anyway.
There's
Okay.
a suggestion.
I actually agree with that. So good.
So also, so I just wanted to ask, and maybe things haven't been fully whatever. So, but with you being a BetMGM ambassador, I know living in New Jersey that it's all of poker's under the BetMGM brand, but
Yeah.
there's been controversy in the past when some of these poker ambassadors then get asked to start putting their name behind the slot play and stuff. So are you going to be solely on the poker end?
I'm solely on the poker end. Yeah. What's nice about MGM is, this has kind of been in the works for like nearly a year. So I've had many meetings, many discussions, many, kind of interviews of like them getting to know me getting to know them, and their mission on why they want poker ambassadors and these things. And so it's not just like, oh, we're announcing Etay as an ambassador for us, and this is, here we go. It's been a long time of in and out discussions, making sure like, I want to be representing a brand that I fully believe in, not just receiving a paycheck. And I want to be able to be who I am in poker. And I feel like that's what I've always tried to do. And so for me, it wasn't worth, taking a deal that I didn't believe in or that I couldn't personally put my name to back on. My reputation means a lot to me. Um, that being said, I know that I'm not perfect. I am the first person to say, I've made mistakes along the way, etc. But I've really, really tried and worked on, first time a mom. Everything that I do is a representation of me as a mom, as a woman, etc. And so that was a very important conversation with BetMGM. And it was in and out of conversations like that over the course of a year, to where we got to a point where I was like, our last meeting, they sat me down and basically looked me in my eyes and said, we are, bringing you on board because of who you are, which was so refreshing to hear, like who in caps, because of who you are, like, which told me like, like poker is one thing. I'm always going to try to do my best, but it kind of took the pressure off of like actual results in poker and performance, to like just, they said, just be who you are. You're authentic, you're relatable, you're a poker player, and they're like, we don't want you to be anything else. We want you to be you. We want you to keep playing poker tournaments. The conversation of like creating a ton of content, and even like the slot stuff, it's like they were like, you're not even touching any of that. We just want you to be who you've been. I think, they see that that's really valuable, and that's enough for them. And that is something that I can really, really get behind. And you'll be able to tell, like, I genuinely and truly like believe in them as a company. And I think, the feeling is kind of mutual, and that's going to create a pretty good relationship.
Awesome. Sean McCormick's a great friend of Spaces, and we're looking forward to seeing how the relationship blossoms.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I love it. Yeah, I'm going to see Sean today over at the meetup game at the Bellagio, hosting
Love
one
it.
at
Oh,
2
that's right.
p.m.
You know, he
today.
told me about that. That's awesome.
Yep, looking forward to it. Can't wait um, to meet everybody over there at 2 p.m. today. And of course, they're always really gracious and give us some pizza to munch on. And we have all
Oh,
kinds of
they're
splash the
awesome.
pot, splash the pot items, and we have some attendance prizes to give away. And if you wear red, white, and blue, you'll be in a drawing for wearing red, white, and blue, and that could be a hat, a pin, a shirt, whatever. So yeah, we're
Awesome.
going to have some fun over at the Bellagio today. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody for sure. Going to see some spaces people I've never met in real life before, so that is always a thrill for me and others as well. Isaac, are you there, buddy? He normally is
I'm
working
here.
while we're doing this. Hey, did you have any questions or comments for Etay? Please meet Etay.
Hi, Etay.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Actually,
Good.
when you were off for a quick second earlier in the interview, I had told Sherry that a good friend is one of the winners of your contest, and I thought that was super awesome that you
Oh,
picked
that's
her.
amazing. I love to hear that.
Yeah, I think she bagged to day two, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
What's is Nicole?
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Oh, she's a sweetheart. I'm so happy.
Yeah, super awesome, and a really, really great
Yeah.
thing that you did, Ite, and fantastic to meet
Thank
you.
you. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm blessed to be able to do that. So it makes me feel good. It makes them feel good. It's a really beautiful thing.
It's a win-win, baby. A win-win.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
it. Go ahead, Joe.
So if anybody cares to take a look in the comments, I put the link to eBay. Itay's trophy's going for $750. What's going
Oh, they
on
lowered
here?
it. They lowered it. You get a $50 discount. He
Oh
started
my
at
God.
1,500, then went down to
Oh,
800. Now it's 750. So you get a nobody buy it though. Don't buy it, obviously.
yeah. Don't give the guy money for doing wrong, for sure. Um,
Exactly.
Earlier, you alluded to your academy. Tell us what your plans are for an academy.
It's another thing where it's obviously a business, but genuinely it's a space, it's a place where I know that I can help in.
Right.
And ever since I left my high school, I won't say how many years ago, but many years ago. I even went back and coached volleyball there. I coached dance there. I coached cheer there. Then when I had my own daughter, I coached her dance and her volleyball. And I've just always, and even before I got into poker, I actually wanted to get involved in like elementary education. And I think I've always had a heart for teaching,
Right.
coaching, helping. That stems directly from my father, who, growing up, he was 100% involved in the church. He was doing mission work all over the world. It's a big reason why they decided to adopt a child from Asia. He was smuggling Bibles into China back in the 80s. And so I think, that just kind of trickled down to me where I have a big heart and passion for helping in any way that I can. It's like what's the freaking purpose, of it all anyway, if we're not if we can't take our gifts and spread it around and help each other. And so that's the driving force behind the Her Edge Academy. And I saw a very big need, and I've seen it for a long time. I wasn't sure what to exactly do about it, but I've seen a very big need for coaching women by woman. So there's obviously incredible coaches out there that play and coach at a very high level, which can be extremely intimidating if you're just, like, oh, my husband's been playing for 10 years and I've just been kind of watching and observing, and like I want to get in and learn, and
Right.
I want to turn at it. And to go from that to, I don't want to call anyone out in a negative way, but these high level training sites is just not, there's no entryway into that, And so I saw a huge need for, maybe there can be a training site from a woman's perspective, and I don't, I'm not somebody who's like, oh, go look at my results and go look at my resume. It's like, that doesn't mean much to me. It's more about the 2 decades of experience that I have in the game, being one of the only women in these really heavily male dominated and sometimes really big high equity fields, and so that's where I'm coming from. It's like you can be taught by the best poker player in the world, but does it translate to what and who you're trying to be in poker? And I think that I have a really good opening ability and teaching and coaching background to be able to really make something special out of that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love the concept of women teaching women. And
Yep.
I'm just going to say to you, you're not allowed to be coached. So we're just going to strike that off the list. You're not going to your own academy because you're doing fine without it. So that's where we're at with that.
Yes, I got you. I hear you loud and clear.
Don't fuck it up by going
You
to
know-
school.
What I've always thought though is,
Uh-oh, you cut out, honey. Etay, you cut out. We cannot hear you, Etay. Maybe her phone rang. We'll give her a minute. We cannot hear you, Etay. Hello,
Oh.
Etay.
Can you hear me?
I can. You cut out. I don't know if you got a phone call or not, but okay. So I said,
Sorry.
no, that's okay. It happened. Trust me. It's nothing new to spaces. We're used to it, but we didn't hear what you had to say. I'm sorry.
Where did I cut off at? Sorry.
The last thing I remember is I said, don't fuck it up.
Oh.
Oh, which is hilarious. Oh, that's okay. We can move on.
Yeah.
Don't sweat the small stuff. So what are you playing next?
I'm gonna head in soon and play the PLO today. And I just
Awesome.
actually saw that it was a freeze out. So which is interesting because I thought all the PLOs were 2 reentries, but this is a nice, going back to what we were talking about, this is a nice change of scenery. It's a freeze out.
Yay.
So 2 p.m. that starts, but I did want to send out the link for your meetup. So if you want to send that to me, I can try to get people to get over to the or to the Bellagio.
I love that. Thank you so much. I will put it in a DM to you. I have like a flyer that we just I don't even know if I've posted it yet this morning. I did on Facebook. I don't think I've gotten to Twitter, but I just sent it to you in a DM. So appreciate that for sure. And I'm going to go quickly around the panel to see anybody else has any comments or questions. Now's the time. Otherwise, we're going to let Etay off the hook so she can get ready to go play. Go ahead, ASG. I see that microphone.
Yeah, I just not that we call out people in spaces, but I see David Baker in the audience. So go sign Sherry's quilt if you're able to.
You have to stop by the Bellagio though today to sign it because I won't be at the, and I would love for everybody to sign it, but I won't be at the WSOP today because I'm hosting that meetup game at the Bellagio. But anybody can certainly stop by the Bellagio to sign the quilt that we're going to give away tomorrow. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. We're feeding the homeless through the Poker Gives organization.
That's great.
We've sold 190, I believe that's the number, 190 raffle tickets. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I took all my old poker t-shirts and turned them into a quilt, and here we are.
Oh, that's such a cool idea. I was thinking about doing that with my daughter's softball jerseys.
Do it. I did it for all 3 of my kids. I saved their shirts from T-ball up.
Oh,
so there's
that's
soccer
great.
shirts, T-ball shirts, marching band shirts, tennis shirts, baseball shirts, you name it. Each of them got their own quilt with all of their, special shirts. Kids always have that one shirt that they, wear. And it makes a great quilt to have those shirts on there because they look at them and reminisce, right?
Yeah.
Highly recommend you do it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that.
I highly recommend you do it. All right, around the horn, Joey. Any last?
Sorry. Besides that, yeah, I have. I might have work travel in September, but yeah, I definitely look forward to meeting you at the Borgata or elsewhere sometime. And good luck with your new ambassadorship.
Thank you. And I would absolutely love to meet you. I hope to see you at Borgata.
Love it. Go ahead, Joey.
Etay, I just want to say thank you for being professional grade. We really, really do appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
And, Clet and I, we split our time between Vegas and Long Island, and I always seem to time it perfectly for the fall open, the spring, winter. So I definitely look forward to just walking up and saying, hey.
Please do. And thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Love it. Barry, you still with us there, buddy?
Yeah, somehow still alive. Great,
Yes.
great stuff, Sherry, as usual. Etay, good to talk to you again, and I'll see
Yeah.
you on the road.
I'll see you soon. Yeah. See you at the Borgata for sure.
Appreciate you, Barry. Isaac, anything else you'd like to add, buddy?
Great to meet you again. Thank you for coming, and again, thanks for everything you're doing. Much love.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Etay, thank you for your time.
You
And
got it. Anytime.
Wish you well and good luck. And I appreciate you reposting my meetup game stuff.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to following your journey on the felt and off the quilt. Off the quilt. No, off the felt, on and off the felt. For sure. I have the quilt on my brain, obviously, but appreciate your time this morning. And most importantly, I appreciate the person you are and how you represent yourself in the world and in the world of poker. You are exactly what is right in the world of poker. And I appreciate that so very much.
Well, that means the most to me. So I appreciate you saying that. And, that I think those that know me, that's more important to me than really all the other stuff. So, if I can just be a good person and be somebody who is relatable and authentic, I think, no matter if I get the bracelet or not, I really just feel like I've won, so I'm
Right.
always going to try to represent myself in the best way possible. So I appreciate you saying that.
Absolutely. And good luck. And everybody that's listening or that's going to be listening at a future date, appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. And if you're on the felt today, good luck. Get over to the meetup game if you can. If you can't, just listen to Barry's going to be co-host in my meetup space that will be going the entire time the meetup game is going. So you can tune in and see what we're up to. And hopefully the guests will come into the space and talk about their bad beats or how they took my chips or how I got more of Joey's chips or whatever. So have a great day, everybody. Much love. Appreciate y'all. And you get a chip and you get a chip.